Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to beautiful Labatt Memorial Park, where they're lined up onto Wilson Avenue to get in on this Father's Day afternoon for the annual Pack the Park game presented by Foxwood Homes. We've got a great crowd on hand already, and as you saw right there, more on the way in for this beautiful Sunday afternoon here between the Majors and the Barrie Baycats. As we welcome you up inside the Game Day London broadcast booth here shortly, the Majors playing host to the Barrie Baycats on this Father's Day at Labatt Park. 2019 was the last time the Baycats were in town for this Father's Day affair. Noah Smith to my left. My name is Dylan Baker. We'd like to start the broadcast by wishing a very happy Father's Day to all the dads out there watching this afternoon's game. Noah, it's always a special day at the ballpark on a Father's Day.
Yeah, Dylan, it really is, and the Pack the Park Day is the best day of the year for a lot of London Majors fans, and us included up here in the broadcast booth. It's a day that we look forward to. You circle on the calendar, and you show up to the park, and there's just a little bit of a different energy, almost like a postseason energy in the air. When you roll into the ballpark here, there's fans lined up at the gates 11 o'clock, an hour before the gates open today. There's fans waiting to get in, and it's just one of the most fun days on the calendar.
It absolutely is. The crowd has come out in droves. You mentioned the people lined up around 11 a.m. this morning. This is a 2 p.m. start, right? It's later than we're used to in the afternoons, but people are still showing up an hour before the gates open. Everybody is very excited to watch the Majors try to get back into the win column after a tough loss on Friday.
Yeah, Dylan, a tough loss for the Majors, and they're riding on a 4-game losing streak right now, which is the longest losing streak that the Majors have seen since pre-COVID. 2019, July of 2019 was the last time that this team saw 4 straight losses. So they're going to try and turn that around here today, and they get the Barrie Baycats, who had an interesting game last night against Brentford Red Sox. Had to go to extra innings to get the win, but they did get the win.
Emilio Guerrero allowed 7 runs in the first inning. He didn't make it out of the first, and Barrie was able to come back in that contest to win it 12-11 in the 10th inning at Vintage Throne Stadium out in Barrie. So an exciting one, but they're playing their 3rd game in 3 days, Noah, so potentially fatigue becoming a factor, especially after a long one yesterday.
Yeah, exactly, Dylan. And we did hear that there were a number of Barrie Baycats players that had made their way down somewhat early today and tried to get themselves at least, into the ballpark and see things a little bit early here, given the game last night. But it's going to be an interesting game today. We get to see the London Majors with a little bit of a shake-up in the lineup, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But it'll be a great day at the ballpark. Still fans finding their way into the seats. Given the heat, given the sun, we're seeing it's packed bumper to bumper here underneath the grandstand, and now they're filling their way out into the sunshine down the lines as well.
Yeah, the people who are under the cover here at Labatt Park have the best seats on a day like today. It is just gorgeous outside. It is very, very warm, and it's a perfect day for baseball. On Friday, just to remind everybody, the Majors had the Toronto Maple Leafs in town. Anthony Benitez made his first start as a Major, struggled in his 2 2/3 innings, and the Majors had several chances to come back in that ball game, Noah, but were unable to tie things up despite the opportunities that were handed to them.
Yeah, exactly, Dylan. You look at the London Majors, and if you were to just read the box score the morning after, you would think that the Majors had their chances, and they did. It's the best way to look at it. They missed the big hit, right? Back-to-back inning with bases loaded. When they were down, they had chances to bring home those runs, and at the end of the day, they were able to chip away. They were able to get right back into it. Even down to the last inning, they had their shot to tie that ball game, but they were missing the big hit. They'll look for that today. And for me today, Dylan, they're going to look for a good start. All right, it wasn't a good start on Friday night. They'll look for that here this afternoon.
Well, there's their starter, Pedro de los Santos, coming in on our 519 Jersey Auction mobile camera. He gets the ball today on this Father's Day affair. Always a big start, it feels like, just because of the magnitude of this game with the fans in the ballpark still filing in as we get set for the national anthems here at Labatt Park. We'll take a quick break and be right back with some Father's Day action at the Forks of the Thames.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope.
Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app for only $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
You're watching.
Here's the pitch. Joseph drills it to right center field. That ball's going back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Starling Joseph, a 2-run home run.
London Majors Baseball on.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of Majors TV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
Beautiful rendition of the national anthem complete, and a loud cheer from the raucous crowd here at Labatt Park. It is Pack the Park Day, sponsored by Foxwood Homes at Labatt. Noah, we've touched on the crowd already. I'll bring them up again, and I'm sure we'll talk about them all game long. It is filling up very quickly here at Labatt Park.
Yeah, Dylan, as it always does, the fans, we talked about how there were fans lined up an hour before the gates even opened today, and up until, well, if you look out right now, fans still in the queue to get through the gate and into the ballpark today. Over 5,000 tickets claimed for today. We'll see if we reach that number. Obviously, Father's Day, it's a busy day for everybody in their lives, but what better way to spend it than here at the ballpark?
Lots of kids with their dads coming out to the ball game today as they recognize some members of Foxwood Homes for their sponsorship in today's affair. Noah, this has been a tradition that has really become well known across the city and is one of the favorites of baseball fans from across London and the region because it's free admission on Father's Day. You get to enjoy a great afternoon with your dad and catch a ball game.
Absolutely. It's one of those days, and we touched on it before we went to break for the anthems there. It's the day on the calendar that a lot of people will circle, whether that's because you like the atmosphere. Obviously, the people like the fact that the tickets are covered for them, right? You come in here, you buy $10, $15 worth of food for the family, and that's it. You spend an afternoon at the ballpark. You get to see the Majors take on an opponent here in the Intercounty Baseball League, which usually tends to be the Barrie Baycats. They're a team that makes it down here for Pack the Park more often than not. And on a day like today, Dylan, we don't get it every year, but a day like today, you get treated to a gorgeous day in terms of the weather.
I remember in 2019, it was raining the morning of Pack the Park, and it was so disappointing because a lot of fans did not roll in due to that rain earlier on, despite the fact that it ended up being quite a beautiful afternoon for baseball as you see Pedro de los Santos take the hill in the Majors dark blue and orange uniforms, a special for Father's Day today, and a little bit of an issue before the game. Yesterday, there was some talk between the two teams about what jerseys the Barrie Baycats were going to wear because typically they wear dark blue on the road, but they got it all sorted out. The Baycats will be wearing their white jerseys today. The Majors and Baycats kind of inverse.
Yeah, they're flopping a little bit here. The Majors will wear the dark blue with the white pants with the pinstripes. The Baycats wearing the darker blue with the white jerseys. So it'll be an interesting jersey matchup if you're someone that's a fan of that here at the ballpark this afternoon, but certainly no trouble telling the two clubs apart.
Let's talk about the man on the mound today, Noah, trying to get the Majors back into the win column. It is Pedro de los Santos getting his 5th appearance of the season, but first start.
Yeah, Dylan, the Santo Domingo native, back out onto the hill. Familiar face for a lot of Majors fans over the last few years. He was a guy that really helped bring the championship to the Forest City back in 2021. But he gets his first start here today. The ERA elevated for Pedro this season at 5.68. Has appeared in 4 games, 6.1 innings pitched. Has struck out 9, but has also walked 7. So we'll wait to see how Pedro fares here today. The London Majors down some pitchers this weekend. Pedro gets the start here in a familiar spot for him as well.
De Los Santos, not necessarily a control contact guy. He will get some strikeouts, and he's going to walk his fair share of batters in a contest, that's for sure. But when he's on, he is one of the best in the Intercounty Baseball League. A .219 earned run average in 2021 will prove just that. The Barrie Baycats today line up this way. Noel McGarry-Doyle leads things off. He is in left field. Canis Eo is in center field. He is batting second. Starlin Rodriguez bats third in right. Ryan Rio is the designated hitter batting cleanup. Hayden Jaco is playing first base, batting fifth. Adam Odd bats sixth at third base. Josh Cote is the catcher. He is batting seventh. Carson Burns bats eighth at shortstop. And Owen Jansen is at second base. Noah, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that Mayor Josh Morgan at field level? Who's talking right now?
It is. Josh Morgan has been out there. He was just thanking all the fans who have made their way out to the ballpark today to take on the Barrie Baycats. Watch the London Majors take on the Barrie Baycats in a good showing so far. As we mentioned, fans still filing their way into the ballpark. Looks like Pedro de los Santos is ready, so we are just about ready here to get underway here from Labatt Memorial Park. The crew chief and home plate umpire for this afternoon's ball game is Rob Stevenson. Down the third base line, you'll see Stephen Gomes, and at first base, John Thompson is the umpiring crew for the Intercounty Baseball League matchup this afternoon here in London.
Fans giving a cheer as we are nearly set for action here at Labatt Park. Noel McGarry-Doyle strides towards the batter's box, as mentioned. Barrie Baycats wearing their white jerseys, and you see an unfamiliar face over at first base if you've been a Majors fan recently.
Sir.
Cleveland Brownlee playing first base in today's game. We'll get into that a little bit later as the first pitch from Pedro de los Santos misses high for ball one.
Yeah, Cleveland Brownlee over there at first base. He had a big smile on his face when I saw him down by the concourse level earlier on today.
Big hack from McGarry-Doyle. He comes up empty on that swing, and it's a ball and a strike. You'll notice that Eduardo Deoleo is not behind the plate for the London Majors today. It is Brad Verhoeven who is catching. Deoleo dealing with a bit of a nagging injury as that one is cut on and missed by McGarry-Doyle, so he's behind at the count 1-2, and that means that he has to DH. So the DH spot is freed up, and Cleveland Brownlee gets to play the field.
You won't find him complaining, Dylan. He loves to be out there.
Not.
And he will enjoy it today, I'm sure.
The 1-2 home from De Los Santos, swing and a miss. Pedro de los Santos gets the first batter he sees in this ball game to go down swinging. There's one gone in the top of the first.
Yeah, that's the way you start the ball game right there for Pedro de los Santos. Aggressive, and that's one thing, Dylan, we've seen over the last few years in particular. Getting to watch Pedro, when is he best? When he's throwing strikes. Right, he's the type of guy that he'll get those swings and misses, he will, but he's also going to let them put the ball in play, and you're going to do that most when you're throwing lots of strikes.
Canicio will step into the batter's box for the Barrie Baycats, batting in the 2 spot today. The Baycats have all 3 of their outfielders batting 1, 2, and 3 in the order. First pitch from De Los Santos, swung on and missed by Eo there. Eo this season batting an even .300 for the Baycats. Into the windup, De Los Santos, the 0-1 home. On the outside corner, it's 0-2.
And the Baycats will have to adjust here to seeing Pedro, the kind of soft-tossing lefty. All right, he's going to be creative with the way that he approaches you in the at-bats.
The 0-2 home, Eo in the air, shallow center field. Lawrence charging hard. Nobody's going to get there, falls into no man's land. Lawrence comes up empty, trying to scoop it off the ground, but Byron Reichstein is right there to pick it back up and get it into the infield, So the Barrie Baycats have a 1-out single.
Got up 2 strikes on him there and then just tried to find a pitch on the outer portion of the plate. But floating it over top of the second baseman and into the outfield. Eo's on base here, and the Baycats with the first hit of the afternoon.
So Starlin Rodriguez digs into the batter's box, wearing number 22 today. We believe it is, in fact, Starlin Rodriguez. Here's the pitch. That is in there for a called strike.
One of the things that was mentioned to us coming into the ballgame today, Dylan, with the Baycats, who are expecting to wear their blue pants, blue jerseys matchup on the road this afternoon. By my understanding, it wasn't until earlier this morning that they actually found out about the Majors' special uniforms today. With that, some of the players did not have their blue uniforms with them. So we'll see a little bit of different numbers as well throughout the ballgame today.
I believe that jersey from Rodriguez says Nunez on the back, so I think that's Jeffrey Nunez's jersey that he's wearing as Pedro de los Santos has a 1-1 count. against Rodriguez. Taking his lead off at first is Io. The pitch from De Los Santos in the dirt, blocked by Verhoeven. Io going to try to move up, and no throw from the Majors catcher. That one just got away from him to his right, and Io was able to pick up 90 feet.
Going to be a big day for Verhoeven behind the plate here today, Dylan, to show that he can play up here with the big boys. Gets to start behind the dish at catcher with the Olio in the designated hitter spot today.
Verhoeven made the trip from Vaughan this morning because the St. Thomas Tomcats are up in Vaughan this weekend. Jared Lund over there as well with the Tomcats, and Verhoeven had to make the quick trek down to London to catch for this ball game, as that one is in the dirt, 3-1, and that's why affiliates are so important.
They are, yeah. He gets obviously the text or the call from Roop this morning and says, hey, I know you're in Sunday of a tournament, but we're in a spot here. We need you to come down. We need you to catch this afternoon. Big Pack the Park day. I don't think there's going to be many guys that turn down that offer.
Here's the pitch, lined right back up the middle. It's a base hit. Io charging hard around third. He'll be held there by the Baycats third base coach, Cleveland Brownlee, on the spot to cut that throw off. And the Baycats have runners positioned at the corners here with one away.
Rodriguez coming into this afternoon's ball game, Dylan, leads all Baycats hitters with a .429 batting average and adds on to it there with a base hit up the middle. Was in the air by the time it got to second base, so Io actually had to hold there. Froze a little bit on the line to make sure that that ball wasn't going to get caught. Otherwise, he may have been able to come around to score. Baycats will take it. Runners on the corners here, just one out to start this ball game.
Runners at the corners for Ryan Rio, the big cleanup hitter for the Barrie Baycats. De Los Santos going to look to induce a double play, is on the move as the runner from first. Here's the throw down to second. Candell going to try a back pick at third, and it's not in time. So a stolen base for Starlin Rodriguez, and then Keith Candell tried to get Io too far off of third base, but unsuccessful in that attempt. Majors from left to right in the outfield. Joseph, Lawrence, and Reichstein. On the infield, Dan Battelle is at third. Keith Candell at shortstop. Tommy Reyes-Cruz at second. Cleveland Brownlee at first base. And Brad Verhoeven behind the play, catching Pedro De Los Santos, who is behind Ryan Rio, 2-0. The offer from De Los Santos fouled off by Rio. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Rio here in a big spot for the Baycats early to see if they can get on the scoreboard.
The 2-1 home. Rio in the air, center field. Drew Lawrence taking a few steps back, tagging from third is Io. Lawrence coming in. His throw is going to go into third base. It's cut off there by Candell, and it's a sacrifice fly for Ryan Rio to get the Barrie Baycats on the board first.
Well, a productive out there for Ryan Rio. That's what happens when you have the table setters there to get things ready for the big bats in the order. And Ryan Rio continues to have himself a good weekend. The sacrifice fly gives the Baycats the 1-0 lead.
So 2 gone, runner still in scoring position for Barrie in the form of Starlin Rodriguez, and Hayden Jaco, the former London Major, steps up to the plate. Jaco was the 2021 Intercounty Baseball League Rookie of the Year for the Majors. Did not play last season, recovering from some injuries that he dealt with in the 21 campaign, and now with the Barrie Baycats for this season.
A familiar face for sure for many Majors fans. Became a fan favorite in that lone season he spent here in the Forest City.
On the ground hard to Dan Battelle. He'll throw to first. Brownlee into the dirt, digging that one out, and that'll do it for the top of the first inning. The Baycats get a couple guys on, end up scoring a run out of the deal. They lead 1-0.
Overall, not a bad first inning there for De Los Santos and the London Majors. The Baycats do pick up a run. They do it on a couple of hits. And the sacrifice fly for Ryan Rio, who hit his first and second home run of the season last night against the Brantford Red Sox.
That was a chaotic game, you know,
it
last
was.
night.
It was. A poor start for the Baycats. Chipping away, ended up scoring 2 in the bottom of the ninth to tie that ball game before winning it in extra innings.
Barrie Baycats going to look to continue their winning ways. They won on Friday night as well in Hamilton over the Cardinals 5-3, so they're trying to sweep the weekend, and getting the ball to do that is Frank Garces from San Cristobal in the Dominican Republic. Garces is appearing in his second game this season, Noah.
Yeah, he is, Dylan. One start so far this season, 6 2/3 with 6 strikeouts. Did not walk a batter, which is an interesting thing that we'll note coming into the day. We'll see how he fares against the London Majors bats in the order. But a lefty arm that we know has some good stuff. And as long as he's pounding the strike zone, which he does, it's something that he's very, very good at on the hill. He'll have some success today, I think, and no better way to start a ball game for a visiting pitcher than the home team or your team getting you a run in the top of the first.
Well, you look at Frank Garces' stats page, and the numbers that jump out at you are those from 2018, where he was with the Baycats. In the regular season, 7 games, 0.38 earned run average, 58 strikeouts, 3 walks. He's going to pound the strike zone. He returned to the IBL last season and pitched pretty well. 5 games, 348 earned run average, and then this season, 6 2/3 innings, 3 runs allowed in that start against the Welland Jackfish. It was a loss for the Barrie Baycats in that game, though Garces got a no decision in that contest. Garces finishing up the warm-up pitches. As you see, it is tight in the grandstand there. Not much room as fans are pretty much all the way filed in for this contest. A few still lingering, I believe, walking around,
still
trying to
making
find
their way
seats.
up the ramp here, Dylan, which is good to see for the London Majors.
You know, my dad is at the ball game today, Noah, and he made a point of getting here nice and early because he knew it was going to be a long wait at the line to get in, and there wasn't going to be much parking available around the ballpark.
Yeah, one thing you notice, and there's some veterans of the Pack the Parks here, Dylan. They like to get here plenty early to make sure, and as well, we have tons of season ticket holders, Dylan, who are used to their spots. So when you have a day like today that's a bigger draw, you want to make sure you're still getting to your spot, if you will, whether that's down the line, wherever that may be. So they were here plenty early to make sure that they were in their seats and ready as we get ready to go here on the bottom of the first inning.
Tommy Reyes-Cruz steps into the batter's box to face Frank Garces. The first offering from Garces is going to miss just high for ball 1. Reyes-Cruz hitting .325 on the season, 13 for 40, 2 home runs. He skies this one. It's not hit very deep. Going back on it is the shortstop Carson Burns, and on the cut of the grass, he's able to make the grab for the first out.
Quick and efficient out there for Garces on the mound. He gets that first out of the ball game here. One thing we'll note on, something that we tend to try and bring to the attention of viewers at home throughout the course of the broadcast. Today, it's a gorgeous day here at the ballpark, but the wind, Dylan, not really doing anything out there. The flags just to the right and left of the scoreboard out in right center, they haven't moved a whole lot. From time to time, it'll pick up a little bit here, but from what we've seen earlier on this season, the wind, at least right now, it doesn't look like it'll be a massive factor. Some breezes rolling in off the river every now and again.
First pitch to Byron Reichstein misses inside. We get fooled up here. No, we've got our fan going, so I'm feeling some breeze. But you look out at the flags, and there's not much going on in terms of wind on the diamond. The 1-0 to Reichstein in there for a called strike, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, 25 degrees Celsius today. It feels like 25, so right on the money there. And sunshine in the forecast.
Garces shakes the call from Cote once, and now gets the sign he wants. Into the wind-up, the 1-1 home. Inside to Reichstein, and it's 2-1.
Father's Day, one of the most popular days around the league. 4 games in the Intercounty Baseball League throughout the course here of this 2023 Father's Day.
The 2-1 home from Garces is in there for a called strike 2.
Byron making sure that that's where the zone is going to end today on the inside portion of the plate.
Byron Reichstein batting .393 on the season, 3 homers, 12 runs batted in. Here is the 2-2 home. Byron on the ground, that one going to get foul. Had a tough day on Friday night, 4 strikeouts in 4 at-bats for Byron.
Yeah, you won't see that very often for Byron Reichstein.
Not at all.
But hey, it's baseball. That happens to the best hitters to play the game. You'll have an off day. Byron Reichstein, the key for him will just be to make sure that it was an off game and that there's no hitches in the swing or anything like that.
Into the windup, Garces, the 2-2 home. That one is in the dirt. Reichstein, good at bat so far. He's got a full count on him now. It's 3-2.
Full count. Garces looking to try and avoid walking the batter, and now he'll get a new baseball for this big 3-2 pitch. Starling Joseph on deck for the Majors.
Noah, you mentioned the lineup shakeup for London. It's Reyes, Cruz, Reichstein, Joseph, Brownlee, Deolio, Battelle, Lawrence, Verhoeven, and Candell round out the lineup. Starling Joseph going from batting 6th on Friday to batting 3rd here today. The 3-2 to Reichstein, cut on and missed for strike 3. And there are 2 gone now in the bottom of the first as Starling Joseph steps up. Joseph went yard on Friday night, and some off nights for Brownlee and Deolio, so Joseph gets bumped up into the 3 spot today.
Yeah, one thing that we're seeing for the Majors and Roop Janerdad as he moves around this lineup is just trying to see what works and what can get the offense going for London. It seems like when guys are down, it's not just 1 or 2 guys in the lineup. It's 3, 4, 5 guys in the lineup who are having an off night. And you just got to wonder, when is the time that it's going to click where 5 or 6 guys in your lineup are on that night?
Majors hoping the bats get going early today as there are 2 gone for Starling Joseph. First pitch from Frank Garces on the outside corner for strike 1.
Yeah, getting ahead there with the fastball. Pounding it across the outside edge. Just catching the black there.
Into the windup, the 0-1 home. Joseph lines that one straight back at the screen, and quickly he's behind on the count 0-2.
Garces got himself into a full count against Byron Reichstein before the strikeout, and now trying to make sure that doesn't happen again here against Starling Joseph. Fastball twice, and he gets 2 strikes. He's way up here 0-2.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Garces finally gets the sign he wants to try to put away Starling Joseph. The 0-2 home, Joseph in the air, foul territory. Giving it a look is the first baseman, Jaco, but that one is well out of play into the first base side bleachers.
Well out of play, the count will stay at 0-2. We did see a couple of fans with their ball gloves out there today.
Nobody caught that one, though.
No catch on that play, no.
That one just clanked off the benches out there. Starling Joseph still behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes as Frank Garces gets himself a new baseball. Joseph trying to spark a 2-out rally for the Majors. Garces shakes a few times. Now nods along with Cote. Into the wind-up, the offering. Popped up, foul territory. That one will get out of play. It's a foul ball. Joseph has seen 4 pitches in this at-bat. All of them have been strikes. Few foul balls to stay alive. Here's the 0-2 once more. That one's in the dirt. Good take there from Starling on 0-2.
Yeah, Dylan, besides location, it hasn't looked like Garces has switched things up a whole lot here against Joseph. He's gone with the fastball 3 or 4 times so far against the Majors' 3-hole hitter. Now the count at 1-2.
Into the windup, the 1-2 home from Garces. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So 2 strikeouts for the Baycats left-hander in the bottom of the first inning, and the Baycats lead 1-0 after 1 complete here at Labatt Park on Pack the Park Day.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of Majors TV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball. London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
Welcome back to Labatt Park for the Father's Day Pack the Park game between the London Majors and the Barrie Baycats. As you get a look inside Labatt Park, just had some fans come up, chat with us, tell us that it is hectic out there. There was a lineup all the way out onto Riverside Drive earlier on, past the foul pole, which is it's what you want to see on a beautiful Sunday like this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I get it. You don't want to wait in the line out there, but Pack the Park Day, we knew over 5,000 tickets claimed for the ball game this afternoon. And you had your chances, hey? Gates were open at noon today. And to be honest with you, Dylan, I think for the first half hour to an hour of that, things were pretty calm.
They were.
Yeah,
Right?
there wasn't a whole lot of people hanging around here, but it was the hour before game time, probably about 1 o'clock here in London, that things really did start to pick up. And now fans still making their way into the ballpark here as that first pitch gets us started here on the top of the second inning.
First pitch strike to Adam Odd. Not pleased with that call from home plate umpire Rob Stevenson. Adam Odd, another guy wearing a different jersey. Into the windup, De Los Santos. Odd gets that one into left center field. Tracking after it are Lawrence and Joseph. It skips up against the wall. Odd will trot into second base. He's got a leadoff double here in the top of the second inning.
And that's a good piece of hitting there from Adam Odd. He just kind of puts the barrel on the baseball, drives it the other way, lets the pitch do all the work there, and finds the gap out in left center field. And then the Baycats in a good spot here with their third hit of the afternoon to start the top of the second inning.
Already 3 hits through 1 inning plus a batter for the Barrie Baycats. They've got a guy in scoring position, and Josh Cote, the catcher, steps into the batter's box. Here's the first pitch. That one just off the inside corner for ball 1.
Pedro, we mentioned how he's going to pound the strike zone to the best of his ability here this afternoon, and he's going to let the Baycats hit it. If that means they're finding gaps, that means they're finding gaps.
That one hit hard right back up the middle, and that'll score Adam Odd as it's an RBI single for Josh Cote, and Barrie's quickly up 2-0.
Well, that didn't take long here in the top of the second inning, as the Baycats jumping on Pedro De Los Santos. 2 quick hits to begin the inning, and it's 2-0.
So 2-0 Barrie. Still nobody out here in the second inning, and that'll bring up Carson Burns. De Los Santos started the ball game very well. A quick out with a strikeout of McGarry Doyle, and then he allowed 1 run in the first. He's allowed 1 so far in the second. First pitch to Burns is a called strike. De Los Santos comes set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
And once again getting ahead here. Lefty on lefty matchup. Pedro way up in the count 0-2 now. We'll see if they try to get creative with it.
No balls, 2 strikes. Runner over at first base is Cote, and De Los Santos will step off and regroup after taking a look at the runner at first. De Los Santos gets the sign he wants from Verhoeven. Here's the pitch. Called strike 3. So De Los Santos records the first out of the top of the second inning with a strikeout looking of Carson Burns.
Quick work there of Burns as well. 3 pitches for De Los Santos is all he needs to get the strikeout, and a big first out here in the top of the second inning.
So that'll bring up the number 9 batter, Owen Jansen, to the plate. Jansen has Cote standing over at first, 1 away. First pitch to Jansen will miss for ball 1. One ball, no strikes, 1 away, 2-0 Barrie. The offering to Jansen, cut on and missed. 1-1.
Baycats here, first time they've seen De Los Santos in a little bit, and they're getting used to the pace that he works at. No pitch clock here in the IBL, but if there was, Pedro wouldn't have to worry about that. Tends to work fairly quickly.
Here's the 1-1 home to Jansen. That's in the dirt, blocked nicely by Verhoeven. Keeping Cote over at first base. And you mentioned it, Noah. Pedro de los Santos works very quickly out there on the mound. If there was a pitch clock, he would be just fine with the limits imposed. Not wasting any time to go to the plate. Two balls, one strike, the count on Owen Jansen. Josh Cote stands over at first base. One gone here in the top of the second inning. Barrie scored one in each of the frames so far. Cut on and missed by Jansen on a pitch in the dirt, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, you'll see some of those swings from Pedro just fooling batters. Pitches that dive away from the lefties into the dirt outside of the zone. But then if he comes back inside on the next one, that's where you got to be ready.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Runner standing over at first base. Here's the offering from De Los Santos. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jansen cannot advance to first base because it was occupied, although Cote does move up to second base on the wild pitch.
Yeah, that one got away from Verhoeven behind the plate, but fortunately for the Majors, an out recorded on the play. Runner does move up to second base, and the Baycats once again with a runner in scoring position early here in this ball game.
Not sure Brad Verhoeven knew where that ball was after it skipped off of him. It took him a second to find it, and if Jansen was able to run to first base on that one, he may have been safe. As Noel McGarry-Doyle steps in for the second time, he shoots that one into left field. Around third, charging hard is Cote. He's going to be waved home. The throw from Joseph is high. It gets over Verhoeven to the backstop. Around second, charging for third is McGarry-Doyle, and he'll get in there. So an RBI single for Noel McGarry-Doyle, gets up to second base on the throw, and then gets all the way around to third on the error from Starling Joseph.
That ball was hit pretty hard into left field, Dylan, and got to Joseph fairly quickly. I think the throw ended up being rushed because he was surprised that the Baycats sent the runner.
I agree with you, Noah, because he kind of slowed down, and I think that's why the Baycats sent the runner, because he was slowing down, anticipating the runner stopping over at third base, and then the throw was rushed and it sailed high.
Charged with an error on the play. First error of the ball game for the Majors.
First pitch is fouled off by Kenis Eo.
And the Baycats early here, already 5 hits this afternoon.
De Los Santos into the windup. Here's the 0-1. That one's going to miss up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch, cut on and missed by Eo, and it's 1-2. So the official ruling on that play is that Cote came in to score on the error, and McGarry-Doyle gets to third on that same error. Here's the pitch. That is on the outside corner, called strike 3. So Kenis Eo goes down looking, but the Baycats get 2 in the top of the second, and they lead 3-0.
Baycats adding another pair in the top half of the second inning, and 5 hits for Barrie through their first 2 trips to the plate, and a 3-0 lead. The Majors will look to try and combat that here in the bottom half of the second inning.
Majors have a good part of the order to do that, to try to get on the scoreboard. It'll be Brownlee, DeOlio, and Battelle for London. Pedro de los Santos so far, some weak contact, some hard contact. It's been a lot of balls put in play, and at the moment they're just finding holes.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen them hit gaps. We've seen them hit it in the holes on the infield. Getting rewarded early on for their approach at the plate.
Busy day in the Intercounty Baseball League today, Noah. Every team in action.
Yeah, that's what you like to see here on a Father's Day Sunday. 4 games in the Intercounty Baseball League, all 8 teams in action. Guelph is in Welland taking on the Jackfish. That game already well underway, top of the 5th inning, tied at 2 apiece. Brantford in Toronto at Christie Pitts taking on the Maple Leafs, tied at 1 in the top of the 2nd inning. In Hamilton, the Kitchener Panthers are taking on the Cardinals in the top of the 2nd inning as well, and we just move into the bottom of the 2nd here in London. Baycats up 3-0.
3 tied ball games at the moment in the Intercounty Baseball League. This game being the lone exception as Barrie leads by 3 runs here in the early going of this contest. The Majors going to try to get some runs on the scoreboard against Frank Garces, and Noah Garces in the first really showed the command that he has at the strike zone.
Yeah, we knew we were going to expect that today from him, and didn't disappoint in the bottom of the first inning. We'll see how he goes after the middle of the London Majors order here.
You take a look at the middle of that Majors order on our 519 Jersey Auction mobile camera. As Frank Garces gets his final warm-up pitch in, and it's thrown down by Josh Cote as Cleveland Brownlee makes his first trip to the plate on Pack the Park Day.
First baseman, number 35, Cleveland Brownlee.
Warm applause for Cleveland as he gets his warm-up packs in before facing Frank Garces. Noah, Cleveland coming into the ball game on 499 runs batted in. He's been sitting on that for a while, looking for 500 today.
Yeah, Dylan, we put together our kind of milestone watch at the start of every Intercounty Baseball League season, and that's one that was circled for Cleveland Brownlee.
First pitch from Garces. Brownlee checked his swing. I think he wanted that one. Fouled straight back to the screen. Brownlee came into the year needing 6 runs batted in to get to 500. He's got 5 at the moment.
A little bit of a slower start for him than in years past.
Into the windup, Garces. The pitch. Brownlee chases one just off the plate outside, and it's 0-2. Cleveland batting .244 on the season. 5 RBI, 6 runs scored. 1 walk, 12 strikeouts. Garces shakes. Into the windup he goes, trying to put Brownlee away. The 0-2 is going to miss low. Cote liked the location of that pitch.
That's the best spot to attack Cleveland Brownlee, a little bit lower in the zone. Not to say that he can't hit it there, but he's far more aggressive, far more successful, it seems, that the ball is up in the zone.
3 home runs this season for Brownlee as he steps out and calls time before the 1-2 is sent home from Garces. Gets the sign he wants from Cote into the windup. Here's the 1-2 home to Brownlee in the air, foul territory. That one will get out of play. Towards the backyards here, just beyond Labatt Park.
Dylan, it appears we've seen the last kind of grouping of fans make their way into the ballpark today, and I think we're seeing what will be our attendance this afternoon.
That one misses low to Brownlee. Pretty good crowd on hand, Noah. Not quite as full at the end of the grandstand, at the end of the seating there, down the lines in the outfield, but jam-packed on the infield and right behind the plate as you get a great look at it there on your screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cleveland Brownlee. Into the windup, Garces. Pitch on its way, swing and a miss, strike 3. That's already the 3rd strikeout for Frank Garces in this contest as there's 1 away in the bottom of the 2nd.
Attacking the bottom of the zone there against Brownlee. Got him to swing and miss for a big strikeout to begin the bottom of the 2nd inning. There's some heavy hitters coming to the order here for London in the bottom of inning number 2, and that's a great way to start it.
Eduardo De Olio, the second of those heavy hitters, batting .386 on the season. Mentioned off the top, he's dealing with a bit of an injury at the moment, so he is the designated hitter in today's contest. Brad Verhoeven doing the catching, and Cleveland Brownlee at first base as that one finds the outside corner for strike 1. No Miles Miller available for the Majors today. It's the outfield is Joseph, Lawrence, and Reichstein. We saw Byron play first base on Friday night. The 0-1 to De Olio, outside corner, strike 2. Looked like Garces sped up the delivery there.
Yeah, varied his timing a little bit. Sped things up on his way to the plate, and I think that caught De Olio off guard a little bit. That pitch in a pretty good spot, at least on 0-1 that you'd normally see De Olio take a cut at.
Garces shakes 3 times, now 4, make it 5, and finally gets the one he wants. Into the windup, the 0-2 home. De Olio fights that one off and will stay alive. It remains 0-2.
Obviously was going through the motions there with Cote, and Finally found one that he settled on, liked, went after DeOlio, who fouled it off. Majors still searching for hit number 1 here this afternoon. Still early, of course, but when you look at the hit column on the scoreboard, you feel like you're falling behind early.
They have fallen behind early in the run column as well as they trail 3-0. Here's the pitch. DeOlio rips that one in the hole. Going to be a tough play. Sliding stop by Burns. Here's the throw to first. It's in time to get him. A stellar play by Carson Burns, the shortstop for the Barrie Baycats, making a sliding stop in the hole and firing a strike to first base to get Eduardo DeOlio.
Wow, and you applaud Carson Burns on that play as well. He picked it up, had to range well over to his right, a little slide onto the outfield grass. And then the know-how, the confidence to take his time to make that throw as well, with DeOlio coming down the line for a big second out there for the Baycats.
So Dan Battelle rolls into the batter's box for London. He gets his first axe of the ball game. Breaking ball from Garces to start him off is strike 1. The 0-1 from Garces, breaking ball in there for strike 2.
Once again, a slight variance in the timing there from Garces on the mound.
Did it on pitch number 2 to both Battelle and DeOlio. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. The pitch from Frank Garces finds the outside corner for a called strike 3. Frank Garces has struck out 4 through 2 innings as the Barrie Baycats lead the London Majors 3-0.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, like, your voice is fantastic. Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're watching London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
Welcome back to Labatt Park. Some children having some fun by the Majors dugout. It's a beautiful day for baseball and a great day for a freezy, Noah. That kid's got the right idea.
Dylan, I love me a good freezy.
What's your favorite freezy color? This is an important question.
Oh, no.
This is my 5th season working with you.
No.
This is my 5th season working with you.
You're going to tear me apart if I answer one that you don't like. So I almost don't want to. Okay. What are the flavors? Are we going off like Mr. Freeze?
Mr. Freeze. This is the most basic one.
So white, blue, red, orange, purple.
I think that's all.
And is there a pink in there as well?
There is a pink.
There's
a
pink in there as well. All right. So don't hurt me. I love purple.
I love purple too.
Okay.
It's not my favorite. It's not
on the
number
same
1,
page.
but I do really like
my
purple.
least favorite is pink.
Okay.
I do not like the pink freezies. What I do love is red, orange, and purple.
That's a blue one.
I can live without blue.
I love blue. Blue's my number 1.
Hey, look, go ask him what his number 1 freezy is. It's that one right there.
Absolutely it is. He's loving that freezy.
So what's your number 1?
My number 1's blue. Blue.
Okay, you're a blue guy.
Sometimes I crave the orange.
Gotcha.
And I actually had this exact same conversation last night, and I said the same thing. I love the orange freezies at certain moments, but blue is my most consistent number 1 flavor.
You can't go wrong.
They're all good, let's be honest, as we get back to baseball here at Labatt Park. Top of the 3rd inning, Starlin Rodriguez into the batter's box, takes the first pitch off the plate outside. De Los Santos into the windup. Here's the 1-0. Inside, 2-0.
Yeah, falling behind here to start us off in the top of the 3rd. He's not going to change up his timing, though, the pace that he's working at.
That one fouled off. It is 2 balls and 1 strike to Rodriguez. Rodriguez lined a single into center field in his first trip to the plate. That put runners on the corners for Ryan Rio, who waits on deck here. De Los Santos deals the 2-1. Rodriguez gives that baseball a ride, but he sends it well into foul territory, and the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
One of the best parts about the Pack the Park Day, Dylan, is the amount of young fans in attendance here. That ball went flying out of play, and instantly there's usually 20 to 25 kids that go running for it.
It's awesome that the fans are able to go home with some souvenirs, and the young kids always all about the baseballs that are hit into foul territory. Count is 3 balls and 2 strikes to Starlin Rodriguez. Into the windup goes Pedro de Los Santos. Rodriguez sends that one in the air, foul once again. Good battle brewing here.
Certainly is. Pedro trying to offer anything he can to get the out. Verhoeven going back to the inside part of the plate on that one. And Rodriguez fouls it off.
Into the windup, De Los Santos. Here's the 3-2 home. That one fouled off once again, and it remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. 7 pitches so far in this plate appearance for Starlin Rodriguez, making De Los Santos work. He's at 42 pitches through 2 innings.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dylan, not a huge worry at this point, but the majors are going to watch that.
A brief pause in the windup. Rodriguez scorches that one foul as well. He continues to battle with De Los Santos. Home plate umpire Rob Stevenson saying, I need 4 baseballs here. Rodriguez has gone through them all.
Yeah, the 3 runs early, of course, a little bit of a concern for the majors. The 5 hits, certainly, for De Los Santos, but the pitch count they'll watch through the middle part of these innings.
That one just off the plate, and it's ball 4, so Rodriguez wins that battle and will reach first to lead off the top of the 3rd inning. 2 innings in a row where the Baycats leadoff hitter has gotten aboard.
I think that was the exact pitch they wanted. In almost the exact location they wanted it. Another inch or 2 towards the plate, and they probably get the call. But it did miss, and the leadoff man is aboard here for the Baycats in the top of the 3rd. Bring Ryan Rio to the plate.
Rio steps in for the 2nd time today. Had a sacrifice fly in his first plate appearance. Here's the offer from De Los Santos. Rodriguez is running as Rio skies that one into center field. Drew Lawrence a few steps in. He will make the catch, and there's one gone in the top of the 3rd.
That was skied a mile high there off the bat of Ryan Rio. Drew Lawrence was able to see that one easily. At a point in the afternoon here, Dylan, where the sun's still fairly high in the sky. You add another 2 hours to the clock here, and that ball becomes that much tougher to catch based on the location of the sun.
Hayden Jaco steps into the batter's box for the 2nd time today for Barrie. 0 for 1 on the afternoon. A ground out in his last trip. Quick throw over to first base, proudly faking the throw back to the mound. Cleveland's going to pull every trick in the book today, Noah. I can guarantee you that.
I was going to say, if there's a guy out there who's most looking forward to this afternoon, it's Cleveland Brownlee. All right, I talked about how I saw him on the concourse prior to the game, and he had a big smile on his face. That's not so out of the ordinary for Cleveland, but he was ready to go.
That one on the ground to De Los Santos. Thought about going to second. Elects to go with the safe play to first, and Brownlee throws to second to try to get Rodriguez. Cleveland's on it right now. He's playing a great game over at first base.
When I saw him, Dylan, I said, so Cleve, first base? Am I going to see you on the hill next? He goes, no, that ship left port a while ago.
I'd love to see what Cleveland offers. He throws batting practice for the majors quite often before the games. Pedro de Los Santos comes set out there on the mound, peeks back at second base. Here's the offering, cut on and missed by Adam Odd. Rodriguez had a big lead off of second on that last offering. The 0-1 from De Los Santos, inside corner. Look at the movement on that pitch. It's 0-2. We see a go Adam Odd sign. A big Barrie Baycat fan down the first base side.
They make the trip down to London here for Father's Day weekend. Did I see an Adamad cutout as well?
Was there an Adamad cutout? Because I think that's awesome. On the ground, right back up the middle. Going to be a tough play. Candell to his left. Throw to first. In time to get him. A great play by Keith Candell, displaying the range and retiring the Baycats here in the top of the third inning.
What a play by Keith Candell to get over, ranging towards the middle of the infield, picking it up and firing one on the money to Brownlee at first base for the final out of the inning. There's a 0 on the board next to the Barrie Baycats in the top of the third. That bodes well for the Majors as they head to the bats here in the bottom half.
7, 8, 9 due up for the Majors. No, I've got an update on our Freezy situation here.
Okay.
Andrew Wark, who is one of our social media coordinators with Majors TV, has put a poll in the Majors TV group chat about the favorite Freezy color for the group. And right now, I'm just saying, blue is in the lead.
I don't like this game. Okay, I answered with purple, and now we're tied. So,
wasn't purple the one you said you hated? No, that was the one you said you liked.
I don't like the pink. I don't like the pink.
Now I'm following. Now we're clear. I'd be curious what the stadium's favorite Freezy is, but that's a lot of people to survey.
Well, here we can do it in our own little survey. If you're watching at home on Majors TV this afternoon, well, head to the comments section. Let us know. What is the Freezy of choice?
We talk exclusively about the important stuff on Majors TV, right, Noah?
The food, yeah, it's always there.
Some fans trying to get some
youngsters,
baseballs signed by the Majors bullpen.
Is that the same youngster with the Freezy?
It might be. He's making his way around the park if it is.
Listen, he's having a good time down there.
Great Freezy choice.
Well, he knows that we're still talking about the Freezies up here in the broadcast booth. That's why.
Credit to our cameraman, Jack said, getting the look at the fans in the stands on our 519 Jersey Auction mobile camera. There's a great look at Frank Garces, the Barrie Baycats lefty, who Noah has been on it today so far. 4 strikeouts through 2 innings of work.
Yeah, he's really been on his game so far this afternoon. That's what you like to see if you're a Barrie Baycats fan in attendance this afternoon. Team has staked him to a 3-run lead early on here, and he's working with it. He's letting it roll.
These Majors fans on your screen trying to will their team to a few runs on the scoreboard. We've got 2 responses in the chat about the Freezies. We got red is elite, but orange is a great second option from Jordan. And Ryan says orange all the way, so neither of us.
I feel like, and this, I'm just going to put this out there, Dylan, and we'll get back to the game now that the middle innings is over. I feel like orange is like the safe choice. You know what I mean? It's like your safe player. Nobody is going to say no to an orange Freezy, but like it won't always be the first one picked for a lot of people. But it's your safe choice.
I think that's a great take about orange Freezies. As we get back to baseball in the bottom of the third inning, Drew Lawrence steps into the batter's box. First pitch from Garces. Lawrence on the ground to shortstop. Coming in on that baseball, Carson Burns on the run, throw to first in time to get Lawrence, and there's one gone.
Burns looking smooth out there at shortstop, and we'll touch on that quickly here, Dylan. You'll hear a lot of broadcasters, if you watch baseball, whether it's minor leagues up to the major leagues, they'll talk about the internal clock on an infielder, and Carson Burns has displayed that very well tonight. Drew Lawrence can run, right? Like Drew Lawrence is a fast runner down the line, but Burns knew the time he had, still was able to get that throw, set himself, and make a strong throw across the diamond.
Brad Verhoeven gets his first swings of the ball game here for the Majors against Frank Garces. First offering in there for a called strike. We mentioned, in case you're just joining us, that Verhoeven was at the St. Thomas Tomcats in Vaughan this morning before traveling all the way down here to get into his gear for the ball game, with Eduardo Deolio needing to DH today, as that one's lined straight back at the screen, and he's behind 0-2.
Falling behind in a hole here for the London Majors catcher. Trying to find any way to just start anything here for the London Majors. They've struggled to get the bats going here through the first 7 outs of the ball game.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Verhoeven calls time as Garces was shaking off a few pitches, and he elects to step out. Garces a couple of shakes. Into the windup he goes. The 0-2 on its way home. That one is in the dirt, and it's 1-2.
Dylan, in true Majors TV fashion here, we talk about the weather and the wind to begin the ball game. it now has started gusting towards us. You can feel it on our faces up here in the broadcast booth, and you can see it on the flags out in right center field.
Wind becoming a factor as the ball game progresses. Brad Verhoeven sends that towards the parking lot here at Labatt Park.
Nothing more than a welcome breeze for the fans down the lines to catch a little bit of relief from the sunshine.
Well, a lot of them came prepared and brought some umbrellas, Noah, and that's a smart play on a day like today. You get a look at the flags there, the wind blowing towards right field and a little in. Here is the 1-2 home. Verhoeven takes that one off the plate outside, and it's 2-2. Two balls, two strikes, one away. Majors still hitless in the contest, as Garces has been perfect so far. The 2-2 home, Verhoeven in the air, shallow right field, charging hard on it is Rodriguez. He makes the catch. A great play by Starlin Rodriguez in right field, coming down with that baseball.
Majors robbed of their first hit of the afternoon. What a play out in right field. Verhoeven has to go back to the dugout with nothing to show, but a nice play gives the Baycats their second out here at the bottom of the third inning.
So Keith Candell steps into the batter's box. Candell, a guy looking to turn things around this season, batting 108 on the year. 4 hits and 37 at-bats. He's got a home run, though. That came against the Barrie Baycats in Barrie. Here's the pitch to Candell on the outside corner, strike one. Oh, 1 home from Garces. That is low, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Candell at the bottom of the order here for the Majors.
You see our Majors TV camera there with its own umbrella. Everybody's staying away from the sun as the breaking ball goes high. It's 2-1.
We got to protect the equipment, Dylan.
We do. We don't want that camera overheating, that's for sure, on a day like today with all the sunshine.
Well, we're here. We got crews setting up by, shortly after 10 a.m. in the morning on a 2 o'clock first pitch. And if you keep a camera out in the sun that long, it does not end well.
No, it does not. And I was actually thinking about that as we were setting it up. And Matt Hiscox, our media relations man here with the Majors, he was prepared. He said, go get my umbrella. We'll set it right up and make sure it stays to cover this camera.
I said, do we have an umbrella, Matt? He goes, do we have an umbrella? Of course I have an umbrella. That guy thinks of everything.
He does. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count to Keith Candell. Garces gets the sign he wants from Cote and fires that one in there just off the plate. It's 3-2.
If Candell can get on, it'll turn things over for the Majors here on the bottom of the third with 2 outs. Back to the top of the order.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. The breaking ball from Frank Garces finds the outside corner, called strike 3. Candell goes down looking, trying to plead his case to the home plate umpire. But the Barrie Baycats are through 3 scoreless. They lead by a score of 3-0 on Father's Day.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope. Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app for only $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
You're watching.
Here's the pitch. Joseph drills it to right center field. That ball's going back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Starling Joseph, a 2-run home run.
London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of Majors TV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball. London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
Welcome back to Labatt Park as you get a look at two purple freezies. Noah Smith, are you a happy camper right now?
Purple, purple, purple.
We've got a
Let's
blue
go.
chant in our chat from Larry. Kennedy says her favorites are white and pink in terms of freezies. It's a great day for a freezie, and I think this is the end of our freezing
Okay,
talk.
yeah, we
this
got
might be the limit that we've reached. But with that said, lots of freezes at the ballpark, lots of controversy in terms of flavors. We just had the kids run the bases here at Labatt Park. Noah, what a great time that was. Lots of kids, obviously, for Pack the Park Day. They had to limit the amount that could get out there just to avoid kids getting trampled as they run the base paths, but quite a few kids out there. Home plate umpire Rob Stevenson, he gave them the signal to go. He was holding them up, said, wait, now you go.
He not only is he the crew chief and the home plate umpire in this afternoon's ball game, he said, I'll handle this as well. And he was holding up the kids before the last ones got out there. They ran the bases, and
there was a kid who lost a hat.
Yeah,
and guess who was on scene to get the hat? Home plate umpire Rob Stevenson, man of the people. In this afternoon's contest, the Majors.
Not his first rodeo, as they say, Dylan.
Is that how they say it? It's the top of the fourth here at Labatt Park, 3-0 Barrie. Pedro de los Santos has allowed 5 hits through 3 innings of work. Pedro, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts in the ball game. All 3 of those runs are earned. Correction, the second run that was driven in by McGarry Doyle was unearned to De Los Santos as it came in on the error. It'll be Josh Cote to lead off the top of the fourth. 7, 8, and 9 for the Baycats. Cote, Burns, and Jansen. First pitch is on the ground in the hole for a base hit. And Cote is aboard for the second time today.
That one not hit overly hard, Dylan, but a prime example of what the Baycats have been doing so far this afternoon. So that one just finds the hole. Into left field. Cote aboard to lead off the top of the fourth inning.
Carson Burns will step into the batter's box here in the top of the fourth to do battle with De Los Santos. Burns 0 for 1 on the day. He struck out looking in his last trip. First offering to Burns. Gonna miss for ball 1.
Nothing more than some stretching down in the London Majors bullpen.
The pitch count not in a bad spot for De Los Santos. 51 pitches. Here's the offering. Cut on and missed by Burns. It's 1-2.
For the Majors here, you're just trying to keep this game within reach still. You don't want to find yourselves in a spot where you let Pedro go. It's now the 6th inning and you're down by 5 or 6, right? If you can keep it at the 3 runs that it is, they're in a pretty good spot.
That pitch gets away from Brad Verhoeven as Carson Burns squared to bunt, and the wild pitch will allow Josh Cote to move up to second base. Tough play for a catcher when there's a pitch in the dirt and the batter squares around to bunt because you're so excited to pop out of the crouch and try to make a play on that baseball. Then you have to go back down and try to block it, and that allowed Cote to move up as that one misses. Three and 1 the count to Carson Burns. He's got a runner in scoring position with nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning. Inside for ball 4. So the first 2 men reach in the inning for Barrie after a single and a walk as Owen Jansen, the number 9 hitter, steps into the batter's box.
Yeah, bottom of the order here for the Baycats. They'll turn things over after Jansen's at bat, but this is a spot here, at least traditionally, Dylan, this is a spot where you're looking bunt. Cleveland Brownlee's in on the infield grass for the Majors.
We'll see what the bunt defense looks like for the Majors. Squaring around is Jansen. That's a called strike. Verhoeven pops out of the crouch. They're not running the wheel play as nobody covers third base. Candell sticks around at second.
It looks to me more like this is set up as Battelle staying back at third, unless it's bunted really hard towards third base.
Here is the 0-1 home. Squaring around again is Jansen. Cut on and missed. The throw from Verhoeven. Not going to be in time, so did not pull back in time, and now that's 2 missed bunt attempts, which put Owen Jansen behind in the count 0-2.
And we'll see what the Baycats do here if they elect to try and get Jansen to square around a second time.
I don't think they'd be that dedicated to the bunt in this situation. Would they, Noah, up 3-0?
The way that the Baycats have been hitting Pedro so far, I think you let him swing.
He's squaring around again on 0-2, and that one misses for ball 1.
Also, they did square around on 0-2. Jansen was able to pull back on that one.
One ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Brownlee and Battelle in on the cut of the grass, protecting against the bunt. Jansen not squaring this time. Sends that one high in the air. Shallow left field. Candell out, but it'll be Joseph coming in to make the catch for the second out.
Also, Jansen swings on the 1-2 after swearing around to bunt for the first 3 pitches of the at-bat. And he flies it out to left field. The Majors get their first out here, and now they go to the top of the order. This is an inning that you might look back on here, depending on how the rest of this afternoon goes. Top of the 4th, Baycats had the first 2 runners on. If Pedro can get out of this without any damage, hopefully that'll turn the momentum in the Majors' favor.
One away, McGarry Doyle at the plate. He belts that one left center field, drifting away from Lawrence and Joseph. A headlong dive from Drew Lawrence. Did he catch it? He did. Here's the throw into the infield. The throw back to first from Reyes Cruz. Relays not in time, but Drew Lawrence, an unbelievable play in left center.
What a catch. Lawrence still down a little bit out in left center field. But a highlight reel catch from the Majors center fielder, saves a couple of runs. And he'll get an ovation from the near 5,000 here at Labatt Park this afternoon.
My goodness, Drew Lawrence, what a play. I didn't think he had any shot at that, Noah.
He had a long way to go out in the outfield. He maybe ran 100, 120 feet to his right before making that catch. And you said it right, headlong dive to make the grab.
Unbelievable.
And a legit shot to get back up and throw out Carson Burns, who, by the way, I think had made it past second base.
Yeah.
It was a good 90 feet away. Had to turn back, and just barely, and I mean by inches, did he get back in time at first base.
Boy, oh boy, that was a really close play as Kenise Eo steps into the batter's box for the Barrie Baycats. Wow, what a play by Drew Lawrence. In the left center field gap. 2 gone now in the top of the 4th. You mentioned the importance of this inning, the importance of that catch. Could be highlighted later on as Eo hits that one down to third base. Battelle coming in, throw to Brownlee at first, and the side is retired. An inning-changing catch there from Drew Lawrence to record the second out. Allows the Majors to keep the Baycats off the scoreboard in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, inning-changing is the way to put it. Drew Lawrence single-handedly saving a couple of runs there for the Majors. And that's where you talk about how that inning, if the Majors, De Los Santos can get out of it unscathed, you turn the momentum, add into that recipe the catch of Drew Lawrence diving catch out in left center. Majors will get the top of the order up here in the bottom of the 4th, looking for their first hit and trying to turn the momentum here this afternoon.
You have to wonder and you hope as well that the second time through the order, maybe the Majors have a better idea of what Frank Garces is looking like today. Maybe they can get some more going offensively, but Garces has been dominating so far.
He has been. He's looked elite out there on the mound. Majors have really, save and except for a couple of swings, been held without any luck from Frank Garces.
Reyes Cruz in his first at-bat popped out to shortstop, then Reichstein struck out, as did Starling Joseph to go through the first inning. Garces has been dominant as Heave Away plays on the speakers here at Labatt Park, and some fans clap along. The vibes, they are great. You see the lady dancing behind home plate there on your screen.
Dylan, around the Intercounty Baseball League, some of those ties that we were talking about early on have been broken. Still a tie ball game in Welland. Jackfish and Royals tied at 3 apiece. The Toronto Maple Leafs at home against the Brantford Red Sox have opened things up a bit. They lead 5-1 in the top of the 4th inning. Kitchener on the road in Hamilton at Bernie Arbor have opened things up to a 5-2 lead for the Panthers. Baycats still up 3-0 here in London. Some youngsters enjoying a gorgeous afternoon here at the ballpark. Back to Park Day, the 12th annual here in London.
The crowd has showed up in droves for this afternoon's contest, as I'm sure they have throughout the Intercounty Baseball League today. I don't know what the admission situation is like in the other ballparks. I don't know if it's free everywhere else. I don't think it is.
Free on the hillside, Dylan.
That is true. But on a day like Father's Day, you know that there are going to be lots of fans with their dads out to support their local Intercounty Baseball League ball clubs.
Well, a lot of fans in the ballpark today. Of course, a big thank you to Foxwood Homes, sponsor for today's event.
The Majors will start things off with Tommy Reyes Cruz to lead off the bottom of the 4th, as you get a look at the first base side bleachers and the fans in attendance. Garces has thrown 39 pitches through 3 innings. Into the windup he works. The first pitch to Reyes Cruz on the outside corner for strike 1. Didn't like that call. We'll talk to home plate umpire Rob Stevenson about it. (0-1) on its way from Garces. That one in there as well, and it's 0-2.
Garces not wasting any time pounding the strike zone here.
Ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Reyes Cruz. That one just misses. Similar location to the last pitch. Doesn't get the call on this one, and it's 1-2.
Going to try to find that put-away pitch here. Was well up in the count. Doesn't want to lose him.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch on its way. Called strike 3. Frank Garces gets yet another strikeout, and there's 1 gone in the bottom of the 4th.
Lots of frustrating-looking London Majors at-bat there. Frank Garces, you see him walk off your screen, and you see some action down in the Barrie Baycats bullpen. I don't know if there's any rush down there, what the situation is with Garces, whether there's a pitch count. We'll keep an update on that to see if that goes anywhere, if the intensity ramps up just a little bit.
Appears to be Chris Cox warming up, assuming that he's got his white jersey today. And he's not letting somebody borrow his. Pitch to Barrie Reichstein is in there for a called strike. Majors have struck out 6 times in the ballgame so far, Noah. 3 of them have been looking. Half of the strikeouts that Garces has earned himself today have been of the looking variety, as the 0-1 to Reichstein is a breaking ball that he skies in the air to left field. McGarry Doyle giving chase towards the line, now into foul territory on the warning track. He comes up with that baseball, and there are 2 gone in the bottom of the 4th.
And 2 quick outs as well. The strikeout and now a fly out from Reichstein. Garces now in a good spot here.
4 pitches all it took to retire Reyes Cruz, then 2 to get Reichstein. So he's only thrown 6 pitches as Starling Joseph digs into the batter's box. Joseph 0 for 1 today. As mentioned, between innings, he struck out in his first at-bat. Joseph went deep on Friday night on a ball that was hit extraordinarily high. There were some jokes cracked around the batting cage today as Joseph fouls that one straight back during batting practice. Cleveland Brownlee congratulated Starling on his pop-up home run just because it went so high and just barely got out at the wall. Had me fooled. I thought it was hitting to the river. No balls, 1 strike. Garces into the windup. The offering to Joseph, off the plate, low and outside. And Chamberlain in the chat is asking, what's up with the dark blue pants for the Barrie Baycats today? I believe that they've got a dark blue look that they feature this season, and that's what they were intending to wear on the road this afternoon, but had to switch to the white jerseys because the Majors are wearing dark blue. That pitch is in there for a called strike 2 to Starling Joseph.
Yeah, our first look at them, Dylan. This is a new look for the Barrie Baycats, from what we're used to at least.
I did see in their Twitter cover photo, it is the blue on blue, but I don't know how often they wear that. What do you think of it, Noah?
It's a little bit untraditional, but you know what? It doesn't not work.
Into the windup goes Garces. Here's the 1-2. Joseph fouls that one off. Double negative equals a positive, right?
I think that's how it works. Yeah, math was never my strong point, but now I will tell you what I do like, Don, and sorry to interrupt there. I like the Majors with the dark blue top.
I do too.
Right? It's something they've had in the past. Now they just rock the grays on the roads, the white with pinstripes at home, which, don't get me wrong, love those. Don't think you should get rid of them. Mixing in even a regular blue top throughout the course of the regular season, I think I'd like that.
You know what? Maybe the afternoon games you wear the blue alternates. I'm a big fan of the alternate jerseys. I think they look sharp. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Starling Joseph. Pitch on its way from Garces. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Reach back for a little something extra and gets Joseph to swing right through it. We're through 4 complete at Labatt Park. Garces has yet to allow a hit.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch the ball.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're watching London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
Welcome back. Some fans sitting out on the grassy berm in right field. I think that's where that is. Enjoying some shade with the big tree, Noah. That's not a bad spot to catch a ball game.
No, it's not, Dylan. And that is, although a good spot to watch a ball game, that's also a little bit out of necessity. If you're looking to get away from the crowds, the rest of the seats here are fairly filled in. You can get a nice seat there. Comfortable on the grass, I would imagine, as well.
I'm sure the concession stands are quite busy as well today, getting some Bill's Burgers and some hot dogs. Here in the Game Day London broadcast booth, we are fueled by Cucina Italian Kitchen. Outstanding Italian cuisine. They make sure to give us loads of pasta. We got some subs today for the first time this season. Those were very good. They are feeding our giant Majors TV crew every single home game, and we thank them for that.
Yeah, they do a bang-up job, Dylan. Always something to look forward to when you make your way to the ballpark here. The Cucina Kitchen feeding our crew here, who we will once again thank as well here on the broadcast, helping make sure we get to air, and you watching at home get to watch the London Majors if you can't make it out, or on a day like today, if you're a Barrie Baycats fan or just an IBL fan looking to take in some baseball.
Hey, you got a game against Kitchener, Brantford, maybe some fans make the trip. It's a little tougher in Barrie just because of how long that drive is, but Baycats fans, we hope you're enjoying the ball game if you're watching from home in Barrie. As Starlin Rodriguez steps into the batter's box for the Baycats to lead off the top of the 5th inning. Barrie up by a score of 3-0.
1 run to begin the ball game in the top of the first, 2 in the top of the second. But Pedro De Los Santos, with some help from the defense, has been able to get through innings 3 and 4 unscathed.
Called strike there from De Los Santos. It's 0-1. Oh, 0-1 home, swing and a miss. De Los Santos took something off of that one, and Rodriguez came up empty. John Rodriguez taking his time to get reset in the batter's box. Behind him, a count, no balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, fastball high, 1-2. Verhoeven, you could see there as he was getting set up, he wanted that pitch up, and De Los Santos got it there, but didn't get a bite from Rodriguez.
Yeah, it was executed where they wanted it. Sometimes you're not always going to get the swing.
That one chopped on the ground. Third base hits off the lip and just does bounce foul. Rodriguez might have had a base hit there had it not hit the lip because he was moving down the first base line.
I was going to say that's actually a bounce well in the favor for the Majors. That was going to be a tough play at third. Fortunate as well that the hop didn't bounce into him.
If the hop bounced right to him, he wouldn't have had a shot, I don't think, because it would have eaten him up a little bit. It wasn't the hop he was expecting, obviously. Dan Battelle, the third baseman, but skipped off the lip and went just foul. Both the home plate umpire and the third base umpire were right on it. Rodriguez taking his time, trying to catch his breath. He was hustling down the first base line, as mentioned. De Los Santos looks in for the sign from Verhoeven. Into the windup he goes. Here's the 1-2 home in the dirt. Rodriguez doesn't chase that one. He got out of the way of it, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
We do now, Dylan, just have some movement in the London Majors bullpen as well to kick off the top of the 5th inning.
Just some walking around for Skylar Janice as that one is on the outside corner. Strike 3 called from Pedro De Los Santos. He gets Rodriguez looking, and there's one gone here in the 5th.
Well, Pedro likes that. He gets his first out to begin the top of the 5th and a big punch out as well on a good hitter in Rodriguez for the Baycats. They'll bring up Ryan Rio. Scrimming in a run for the Cats today on a sacrifice fly.
Rio facing De Los Santos for the 3rd time already here in the 5th. Into the windup goes Pedro De Los Santos. Here's the offering on the ground in the hole. Brownlee can't get there, and so nobody's at first base. Cleveland trying to get back, and he does so in time. A bit of a defensive adventure, but the Majors get the out, and the collision is avoided between 2 big boys in Cleveland Brownlee and Ryan Rio.
Well, Brownlee has to range to his right initially to try and make this play. And when he missed it, he had to throw the brakes on quick and get back to first. Pedro De Los Santos was not over to cover, but Brownlee fortunately able to make it back in time for the 2nd out.
So 2 gone now in the top of the 5th inning. Hayden Jaco steps into the batter's box. Into the windup goes De Los Santos. First pitch to Jaco off the inside part of the plate. 1-0. Jaco was Pedro's catcher in his best IBL season, where he had that .219 earned run average in 2021 for the Majors. Those two had a great dynamic and lots of chemistry as that one is hit on the ground to third base. Battelle, a nice stop to his right. Throw on to first. This one a bit of an easier play for Cleveland Brownlee at 1, and the side is retired in the top of the 5th inning.
While the Majors get some defensive help there to work themselves through the top half of the 5th inning. And they'll head to the bats here in the bottom of inning number 5.
Majors trail by 3 runs here at Labatt Park. We'll take this time now to go to our insurance tip of the game with our insurance guy, Eric Gagne.
Today we're going to talk about contractors at your home doing work. Are they insured, and do they need to be? Well, the answer is most reputable contractors will have insurance that best protects the homeowners and themselves if there's a claim or an injury that happens on the property. So ask them for a certificate of insurance to show you proof of insurance and that it's valid. That will best protect you as a homeowner or a business owner when you have contractors on site. That's our tip for the day. Eric Gagne with our insurance guy. Now back to you guys in the booth.
Welcome back to Labatt Park for the bottom of the fifth inning. One of the worst dad jokes of all time just told on the PA system here at Labatt Park. Noah, did you hear it, or can I tell it to you
Okay,
fresh?
give it to me, because I wasn't paying attention.
All right. What is a baseball player's least favorite Star Wars movie?
I don't know. What is it?
The Umpire Strikes Back.
Oh, gosh. Was that Eric?
Was
that
Eric.
Woody?
I think it was Eric delivering that. Public address announcer Eric Collins, in honor of Father's Day, serenading the crowd with some dad jokes.
You know, if there's a guy up here in the booth with terrible dad jokes, Eric is your first pick.
Absolutely. Eric's not looking at us. He doesn't hear our
He's not paying
chirps.
attention. He's not paying attention to us.
Some fans having a good time behind home plate here at Labatt Park. No matter where you're sitting, it's been a beautiful day for a ball game. A great chance to get out with Dad. Happy Father's Day to all the dads watching. Happy Father's Day to my dad, Chris, to your dad, Noah.
I think my dad's probably relaxing at home.
You think he's watching the game? You think he's tuned in?
He might be. He might be.
We're nearly set for action here in the bottom of the fifth inning. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 for London. Cleveland Brownlee, followed by Eduardo Deolio and Dan Battelle, as the Majors try to get something rolling offensively. It's been 12 up and 12 down for the Majors. Brownlee gets a warm applause from the home crowd as he gets set to face Frank Garces. He steps into the batter's box. Garces gets up on the rubber. And we're ready to rock here in the bottom of the fifth inning as Garces works into the windup. First pitch to Brownlee. Ripped towards shortstop. Nice scoop by Carson Burns. The throw to first is high, but coming down with it nicely is Hayden Jaco. And there's one gone in the bottom of the fifth inning.
Brownlee ripped that one to begin the inning here. So picked up on a hop by Burns. Plenty of time to throw it, but the throw actually came out high. But all around, the Baycats make it work, and they get the first out here to begin the bottom of the fifth inning.
Eduardo Deolio steps into the batter's box here in the bottom of the fifth inning. One gone. Into the windup goes Garces. Here's the pitch, outside corner. He's got it. It's 0-1. Baycats, 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Majors, no runs, no hits, 1 error so far in the ball game. Working quickly again, Garces. This time, Deolio a little more ready for it. Still comes up empty on the swing, though. It's 0-2.
Garces here, Dylan. He works through the order for the second time. And he hasn't changed his approach one bit. Still aggressive. Still throwing lots of strikes. Uses the fastball to get ahead.
0-2 home. Deolio battles. Fights that one off. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes.
And any action that was going on down in the Barrie Baycats bullpen as well has halted for the meantime.
May have just been Chris Cox trying to get some throws in.
Get loose, absolutely.
Yeah. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Majors designated hitter in the batter's box in Eduardo Deolio. Into the windup, here's the pitch. Deolio fights that one off. And we'll do it again on 0-2.
Down into the Baycats dugout, that one. Sends a few members scrambling.
That one wasn't hit overly hard off the bat of Deolio, so a little bit of time for those Baycats to get
some
out of the way.
time.
Garces goes into the windup. Here's the 0-2 home to Eduardo Deolio. Called strike 3. Garces racks up yet another strikeout. Strikeout number 8 in the ball game through 4 2/3 innings, and there are 2 gone in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, that pitch, the fastball from Garces on the inner portion of the plate. Deolio thought it was in. But when you've been on all afternoon, sometimes you get that extra half inch. that extra inch off the plate.
Dan Battelle trying to be the first major to break into the hit column here against Frank Garces. Into the windup, the Baycats lefty, off the plate outside. One of the things that always intrigues me with Dan Battelle when he's at the plate is how he pushes the pitch away if it misses. I'll say that's up or that's out. Throws the arm out there. 1-0, that one's up and in. You think that's a confidence thing for Battelle? Do you think
it's a confidence thing, and it's one of those, you know what, I've played with guys that, whether it's that or something different, they don't know how it started, they don't know why it do it, but once you get comfortable doing something like that and it becomes part of the routine, it's like second nature. It's like muscle memory.
That one fouled off by Battelle. Similar thing to what Juan Soto does. Soto, of course, does the Soto shuffle where he leans forward. Sometimes he'll throw that arm out there, but Battelle, every time that it's a close pitch, and sometimes he's wrong, but most of the time he'll wait for the umpire's call and he'll say that's out or that's up. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 away. Breaking ball from Garces. Battelle takes a big swing but comes up empty, and it's 2-2.
Former London Major Carlos Arteaga was known, and not nearly to the same degree, but he was known for squaring around a bunt on the first pitch and pulling it back. More often than not, had zero intentions of bunting in the at-bat, but it was just how he liked to see, especially the first time seeing a pitcher in the ballgame, that's how he liked to see the first pitch come in.
2-2 on its way. Battelle waves at that one and comes up empty for strike 3. Frank Garces through 5 scoreless innings. We head to the top of the 6th on Majors TV. Noah Smith on play-by-play duties when we come back.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope. Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app for only $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
You're watching.
Here's the pitch. Joseph drills it to right center field. That ball's going back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Starling Joseph, a 2-run home run.
London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
We are back here inside of Labatt Memorial Park on Pack the Park Day. And waving hello to the camera here, one of our youngsters enjoying a nice drumstick, an ice cream treat here on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon here at the Forks of the Thames. It's Majors and Baycats as we head to the top half of inning number 6. We thank you for joining us wherever you are tuned in this afternoon. Baycats put up a run in the top of the first inning. They added another 2 in the top of the second. But since then, on either side of the scoreboard, it's been zeros. And a 3-0 lead is where we sit here as we begin the 6th inning. Pedro de los Santos will be back out there for the London Majors to start the top half of inning number 6. We saw some action down in the bullpen as well. We got some tattoos going on. Listen, there's a lot going on at the ballpark this afternoon. And the Majors fans hoping that some Majors offense is the next thing on tap here, as they have been held off the scoreboard through 5 complete so far this afternoon. Well, the throw down to 2 complete. Pedro de los Santos ready to continue on with his start here as he works into the 6th inning. And Adam Ott will be the man to lead him off here in the top of the 6th inning. First pitch is across for a strike. The sign is back for Adam Ott. And a big swing and a miss there from the left-hand bat. It's Odd, Cote, and Burns here for the Baycats in the top of the 6th inning. 6, 7, 8 in the order. Here's the 0-2. Inside, that one will miss, and the count goes to 1-2 here. The Baycats' third baseman looking to start the inning here for Barrie. He's going to chop that one towards first base, but it's going to roll foul before it reaches Cleveland Brownlee. And the count will stay at 1-2 now. A lot of fans around enjoying an afternoon here in London. Be a rare Friday night off. At least off here at Labatt Park for the Majors. No home game next weekend. So the team will hit the road. We'll give the Volunteers here at Labatt Park at least a weekend off to enjoy. Here's the 1-2. And a swing and a miss. Verhoeven with the tag to complete the strikeout. And there is one gone as Adamon is down on strikes to begin the inning. So Josh Cote will come to bat here. Cote, the catcher for the Barrie Baycats in this afternoon's contest. He's 2 for 2 so far. Looking to try and add on to that. He's got 2 of the Barrie Baycats' 6 hits this afternoon. The first pitch from De Los Santos will miss outside. Pedro continues to work at a good pace here. The lefty grabs his sign, delivers. Verhoeven down in the zone, misses it. 2-0 here. Nearing the 80-pitch mark for De Los Santos. This next one is number 78 as it's fouled back. Cote with a swing on a 2-0 pitch right across the plate. He awaits again here. Looks down the barrel of the bat, and De Los Santos grabs his sign from Verhoeven. Here's the 2-1. Inside, and now it's 3 balls and a strike here on the Baycats catcher. Looking to try and find his way on base with 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. That one called a strike, and the count moves to full here for De Los Santos. One gone. Here's the 3-2 delivery. Breaking ball hit into right field. Cote continues to have a day at the plate. He's 3 for 3.
Yeah, no, Josh Cote has been on it all game long for the Barrie Baycats. Getting in the hit column early and getting in the hit column often since then. Another single for Cote, and he's been a key contributor to the Baycats' lead so far.
So Pedro's got to work with the runner on after the base hit. Barrie's 7th hit of the afternoon. Cote's 3rd. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Carson Burns. First pitch, outside edge for a strike, and De Los Santos gets ahead 0-1.
Burns is 0 for 1 on the day. Struck out looking in his first trip to the plate and then walked in his second plate appearance.
Looks to 1. Breaking ball to the plate. Hops off the glove of Verhoeven. Back to the backstop. On Cote moves on to second base.
Yeah, that'll likely be ruled a wild pitch, Noah. That one just sailed on Pedro De Los Santos, a breaking ball that flew up and away, and Brad Verhoeven was unable to come down with that baseball, which allows Cote to move up to second.
Yeah, and I wonder here if As Verhoeven walks that ball back out to Pedro, we're starting to see him run out of gas a little bit. Over 80 pitches now.
Yeah, that has been ruled a passed ball on Brad Verhoeven. You wonder what the pitch limit is on De Los Santos. We talked in the pregame show about how he's only appeared in 4 outings this season as a reliever, and I think he's thrown a total of 6 innings. He's up close to that total right now.
Hit down the line, and that one is going to slice out of play and move the count to 1-2.
That one, yet another souvenir for some young fans. Bounced off the warning track into the grassy area near the parking lot there.
2 strikes on him here. And a swing and a miss. Burns down on strikes. A big strikeout for Pedro De Los Santos.
Boy, that's a huge strikeout for Pedro. No, a runner in scoring position, less than 2 outs. You just lost the double play possibility because of the passed ball, and he's able to get a big swing and a miss from Carson Burns there to set him down for the second out of the top of the 6th inning, and a big strikeout there from De Los Santos.
Job not done yet with the runner still in scoring position. But a great start to the at-bat there against Jansen. Gets up on him 0-1.
Jansen is 0 for 2 on the day. In his 2 trips to the plate, it's been a strikeout and a flyout.
Here's the look, and that one will miss outside.
You know, despite the fact that Pedro's getting up there in pitches, no action in the Majors bullpen really, aside from Braden Farrington getting stretched out there.
2 outs here in the inning certainly gets you the feeling that this inning will be for Pedro. Curveball hit on the ground, broken bat to second base. The throw to 1 is going to be in time. And Pedro De Los Santos is through his 4th straight scoreless inning. But the Majors have some work to do on the bats. Trailing 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the 6th.
Good job by Pedro in that inning, wiggling his way out of it after allowing a 1-out single to Josh Cote. Gets a strikeout of Carson Burns, swinging his 2nd strikeout of the inning, and then some pretty weak contact, broken bat on the ground to second from Owen Jansen. So good work by Pedro De Los Santos in that inning for the Majors. But like you said, Noah, down 3 runs. They've got some scoring to do here in the bottom half, and that's going to lead to a conversation led by Cleveland Brownlee, as you see on your screen there, thanks to our 519 Jersey Auction mobile camera. Cleveland trying to get the bats rolling.
Middle of 6 here at Labatt Park in London, Pack the Park Day. The 12th annual here. As the Majors look to get some offense going to give the 5,000 fans here at the ballpark this afternoon something to cheer for. Hasn't been a whole lot. Some nice gems in the outfield. You look towards Drew Lawrence catch to save a couple of runs, but besides that, the offense has been quiet.
You know, Drew Lawrence this season, I feel, has really taken a step forward defensively. And that's not to say that he was a bad defender last season, but this season it feels like every game there's been a defensive highlight from Drew Lawrence. Whether it's a great throw from the outfield or a diving catch like the one we just saw, every time he's out there in center field, he's making an impact defensively, and that's what you love to see if you're Majors manager Roop Chanadad.
We'll get to see Drew bat this inning. Around the league, the Welland Jackfish now lead the Guelph Royals 5-3. That game moving into the 8th inning. Toronto up 8-1 on Brantford midway through that ball game. Kitchener 5-3 over Hamilton, and 3-0 here at Labatt Park for the Barrie Baycats. In Major League Baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays have opened up an early lead against the Texas Rangers 6-0 in the bottom of the 3rd.
Spencer Horwitz making his big league debut today, got his first big league hit and his first big league RBI. So a good start to the MLB career of the Blue Jays' number 18 ranked prospect. Played for Israel in the World Baseball Classic. Got some pretty big hits for them. A guy who never played in the big leagues, obviously, up until today. Was one of the better performers for Team Israel in the World Baseball Classic.
Also some Tigers fans in the area. Detroit is up 6-1 on the Minnesota Twins.
Majors are giving some London Tigers vibes here today with these orange and blue jerseys.
They are. Colors that embrace these walls many years ago, and you still do see some London Tigers hats roaming the concourse every now and again.
Well, Source for Sports came out with that line a couple of years back.
And a bunt laid down towards first base, shoveled in time to get the out.
Boy, oh boy, I really like that bunt call there for the Majors trying to get that hit, because Drew Lawrence, speedy runner, and a well-placed bunt as well. Despite the fact that he was retired, you put that in that spot between first and second base. That's a tough play for Frank Garces to make, especially as a left-handed pitcher. He's falling off towards the third base side, right? So it's tougher for him to get to that baseball. He made a terrific defensive play there, going to corral that bunt and flipping it to first base to keep his great outing going. But Drew Lawrence placed that bunt nearly perfectly, a little further towards second, and I think he beats it out.
Garces had to be 100% on it, and he was, as that one is swung on and missed for the first strike.
Good breaking ball there from Frank Garces to Brad Verhoeven. Verhoeven popped out to right field in his last trip. Great play by Starlin Rodriguez.
It was the closest the Majors have been to seeing a ball find its way down for a hit. Mere inches from breaking into the hit column. It's 1-1 here on Verhoeven. That one will miss up and in. 2 balls and a strike. Verhoeven, the catcher today, left-handed bat. Awaits the pick from Garces. And that one will break low. 3-1.
Verhoeven well ahead in this count. Great spot for him. Garces will gather himself and try to figure out a plan of attack to get back in this count against Verhoeven.
Popped up foul territory. A look. But that one is 10 rows deep into the seats and out of play. Count moves to full now at 3-2.
Ooh, looks like a fan got a souvenir there and getting some congratulations from the people around him. Young boy gets that baseball.
Garces ready. Cote gives the sign. It's 3-2. Here's the pitch ready. And this one hit in the air, center field. A nice catch made by the shortstop, Carson Burns.
Boy, oh boy, Noah, for a second there, I thought the Majors had their first hit. That's the second time that Brad Verhoeven has flared one into the outfield, and it's nearly gotten down, but a terrific defensive play once again. No dive there from Carson Burns, but out into center field, made the grab.
So bottom of the order here for the Majors and Keith Candell. He'll look to get something going with 2 outs here in the inning. Garces is ready. First pitch to Candell there for a strike. And once again, a little look, a couple of words from Keith.
Like we've talked about, no, I think you said it earlier. When you're rolling like Garces is right now, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt on those calls that are maybe just off the plate.
This one will miss to Candell. His first time around, he had that same conversation. Was not happy with the strike zone. Obviously, we've seen that has not changed from the 3rd to the 6th inning. And now Candell is going to rip one out to left field. Turning back, looking up against the wall. It'll bang and roll up against the sign in left center. Candell is into second base. And just like that, the London Majors are into the hit column, and the crowd notices that.
The crowd finally has something to get on their feet and cheer about. Keith Candell scorched that baseball into the left center field gap. And it's not as if the Majors haven't had solid contact in this ball game. It's been finding gloves when they do hit it hard. This time, Keith Candell puts enough of a charge into that baseball to get on base for the first time for the Majors. Nobody had gotten on base yet, and that one, a big double.
Well, and for the Majors as well. Turns things over to the top of the order. And a chance here to try and drive in a run. First hit and a runner in scoring position for the first time for London tonight. That one is called a strike, low in the zone.
Now the crowd really into it. Getting the boos going on the home plate umpire. As that one was low to Reyes Cruz.
That jolt from Keith Candel just re-energized the crowd a little bit here. The 0-1. This one fouled off into the screen and out of play.
Aggressive hack there from Tommy Reyes Cruz on a pitch that was inside. Went down to one knee. Fought it off.
0-2 here for Frank Garces, looking to try and find his way out of the bottom of the sixth, but first time will be called at home plate.
Butch McLarty making the observation in the chat that Candel's double broke up the no-hitter. Not only was it a no-hitter, it was a perfect game for Frank Garces. He had 17 up, 17 down up until Candel's double.
Was working to the minimum. 0-2, Garces to the plate. Reyes Cruz, little chopper to third base. Tough play on a hop. The throw, not in time. Beating it out is Tommy Reyes Cruz, and the Majors have runners at the corners here with 2 out.
That's a really tough play for Adam Odd, the third baseman, and he almost had Tommy Reyes Cruz, but he kind of double clutched. He was trying to get that baseball out of his glove, couldn't find the grip he was looking for, and the throw to first just not quite in time. You got a great look at it on our Majors TV feed right there. So credit to our crew on getting you that shot, because it was perfect bang bang play. Reyes Cruz just did beat it out, and that puts runners on the corners.
So Byron Reichstein comes to the plate now with runner 90 feet away from scoring. Still 2 out here. The Majors trying to put together a 2-out rally as the first pitch catches the zone for a strike.
No action in that Baycats bullpen. Just a few bodies standing around. Same thing in the Majors pen.
Garces with a look. To one, grabs his sign to the plate. Just missing low to Reichstein.
Very close pitch there. Byron, a good take as the crowd trying to cheer on the Majors to get on the scoreboard here.
They were allowed after the Candel double. Peaked up during the infield single. And now if Reichstein can find a hit, they'll be into the game as that one is swung on and missed. And it's 1-2.
Byron behind in the count here. Going to try to protect and stay alive against Garces. Garces so far in the ball game, lots of strikeouts. He's got 9 through 5 2/3, looking to get into double digits against Reichstein here, who's trying to prevent that.
Ready, 1-2. Gaute sets up off the plate. Fastball's right where he wants it, but well outside.
Garces has a way of getting more velocity out of that fastball when he's trying to put a batter away. We don't see pitches like that throughout the ball game, but he got Deolio to strike out on a fastball, throwing about that velocity, and then turned it up to try to get Byron to chase, but did not.
2-2 count. Reyes Cruz at first for London. Candel at third. Pitch well outside, and the count moves to full.
That breaking ball was just yanked by Frank Garces into the right-handed batter's box. Full count. Reyes Cruz will be moving from first base here with 2 away, as Garces will step off the rubber and try to take his time, get centered, and figure out a plan of attack here on Byron Reichstein.
So a slight advantage to the Majors with Reyes Cruz grabbing the jump. They're not holding him on at first base. 3-2 count coming to Reichstein. Garces. Swing and a miss. And a celebration from the lefty as a big punch out ends the inning and keeps the Baycats in the lead. We are through 6 complete here at the ballpark. The Baycats holding on to a 3-0 lead over the Majors. You're watching London Majors baseball here on Majors TV.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope. Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app for only $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
You're watching.
Here's the pitch. Joseph drills it to right center field. That ball's going back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Starling Joseph, a 2-run home run.
London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
We are back here at Labatt Memorial Park. Pack the Park Day here on an absolutely gorgeous Sunday in downtown London.
Not sure why it doesn't appear on the scoreboard there, but it's all zeros across the board except for now in the hit column, where the Majors have 2 to the Baycats 7. Barrie Baycats have been dominating so far, not necessarily on the scoreboard in terms of runs, because they've only got 3 of them, but the hit column is heavily favoring the Baycats, and Frank Garces has been stellar on the mound.
Well, Pedro de los Santos is back out there for the Majors as well. And now a bunt laid down, but that one will go foul. Count moves to 0-1 here.
McGarry Doyle tried to drag that bunt down the first baseline, and it just did roll foul. De los Santos, another lefty like Garces. He fell off towards the third base side of the rubber and had a long way to go to get that baseball, but luckily for him, it ended up in foul territory.
De los Santos ready for an 0-1 here. Holds a little bit, pauses at the top, comes to the plate, bunted back towards him on the mound. He picks it up, bobbles it, no time for a throw. And the Baycats will have the leadoff runner on to begin the top of the 7th inning.
That's a really tough play for Pedro de los Santos off the mound. Because of how hard it was bunted, it was going to be tough for anybody to make a clean play on that baseball. De los Santos fell towards it, picked it up, and then had to stop his momentum. Because it was so close to the mound, his momentum was carrying him pretty heavily, and he couldn't make that throw over to first in time to get McGarry Doyle, especially after the bobble. And that allows the Baycats leadoff man to get aboard.
Goes down as a hit for the Barrie Baycats to begin the top of the 7th inning. The lead at 1, a good look at it there. Pitch to the plate, Verhoeven lost it in his feet quickly, back up with it. But no movement, 1-0.
Canizio was squaring around to bunt on that last pitch. He's 1 for 3 on the day. A single, a strikeout, and a ground out. Tried to move McGarry Doyle over from first.
Pitch comes inside, and it catches Zio. And the Barrie Baycats will have a couple of runners on here to begin the 7th. That one got away from De Los Santos.
Well, less than ideal there for the Majors. The Baycats were willing to give up an out to move the runner over to second base, and now instead you have runners at first and second, so a runner in scoring position, plus another runner added on to that with nobody out in the top of the 7th inning. Just as the Majors were getting something going offensively, the Baycats are in a good position to score.
And so the Baycats now with nobody out have a couple of runners on. And once again, some slight movement down in the London Majors bullpen. Pitch to the plate. Called a strike on the inside edge. Majors will take the call. It's 0-1. There's a look down the line.
Skylar Janice starting to throw. Abdiel Velasquez heading out there as well for the Majors, the baseball in his hand. Looks like Janice will be the first man called upon, as he has been many times for the Majors so far this season.
The 0-1 swung on and missed. Healthy cut there Rodriguez, and it's 0-2.
The corners were in there for the Majors expecting a potential bunt, but with Rodriguez and all of his power at the plate, I didn't think that was going to happen. He did not square around, took a healthy hack at that one, and just came up empty.
0-2. De Los Santos looking for the first out here of the inning. Pitch to the plate inside. Jumping out of the way, Rodriguez, 1-2.
Lots of break on that pitch from Pedro de Los Santos, a little bit too much, in fact, as it came inside on Rodriguez.
1-2. The look at the runners. This one hit on the ground. Shortstop picked up. Throw to 2. Back to 1. In time. Double play for the Majors. Rolled by De Los Santos and turned to perfection. And there's 2 gone.
Great job there by the London Majors turning that double play. Pedro de Los Santos inducing the ground ball, and Keith Candell, Tommy Reyes Cruz, Cleveland Brownlee finishing off that turn. Great job defensively there by London. Now there are 2 gone. Still a runner over at third base to worry about, especially in this spot of the Baycats order, but the threat is minimized just a little bit with 2 away.
So Ryan Rio will come to the plate here for Barrie. De Los Santos looking to work out of the jam here, in a healthy cut there. And he'll get ahead 0-1.
The action in the Majors bullpen has switched over to Abdiel Velasquez. Janice was the one throwing, and now Velasquez has picked up a baseball as that one misses.
We've seen some action down in the Majors bullpen the last few times that De Los Santos has been in trouble, as that one is swung on and missed. Nothing is really, I think, elevated to the point of someone getting what they like to call hot. Not close to ready, just getting loose.
Up near 100 pitches is Pedro. He's at 98 right now.
The 1-2, Rio will foul off.
The next pitch will be number 100 for Pedro de Los Santos. We've seen him go deep into ball games throwing a lot of pitches before, but this season, not having had a start yet, we'll see if the 100 mark is kind of what the Majors are targeting as Velasquez continues to throw in the Majors' pen.
Well, and one thing that we don't like to take out of the equation up here in the broadcast booth, knowing Pedro de Los Santos, knowing the London Majors coaching staff is feel, right? They can look at the number, they can see the pitch count in front of them. But if they feel like he's thrown all right and he tells them he's fine, they might let him go. Here's the 1-2. Curveball upstairs, ball 2.
That curveball just missed a little bit high. If he lowers that an inch or 2, he's got a called strike 3 on Rio. He freezes him with the breaking ball, but that one just a little elevated.
Ready, the 2-2. Rio in the air, right field, and it's gone. Ryan Rio with a big shot there for the Baycats. 2 runs will come in to score, and it is 5-0.
Boy, oh boy, does that double play ever look more important now for the London Majors, as that one only scores 2 runs as the Majors go down 5-0 in this contest. Rio unloaded on that baseball and drove it to right field. He stays hot. That's 3 home runs in his past 2 games. Hit 2 last night against Brantford, and that one was smacked.
Well, and if you're a Barrie Baycats fan who was wondering coming into the weekend when Ryan Rio was going to get hot, well, he's found it. 3 home runs on the weekend for him, and big ones helping the Baycats. It's now 5-0 here as De Los Santos gets up 0-1. That one will catch the zone, 0-2. The intensity picks up down in the London Majors bullpen. That one comes up and in to Jaco.
Pedro losing his feel of the command a little bit, it seems, right now in this contest. It's the 2nd time this inning he's nearly hit a batter. First time he did hit him.
Swing and a miss. Jaco down on strikes as De Los Santos gets through the 7th inning, but not before a big blast from Ryan Rio has given the Barrie Baycats a 5-0 lead here in London.
Man, oh man, Noah, he hit that baseball hard. I'm still not over that contact from Ryan Rio. He smoked it to right field. Byron Reichstein took a few steps back and knew that one was long gone. The Majors had some momentum brewing after the bottom of the 6th inning, but then pretty much all of that gone after the home run from Rio, as it's t-shirt toss time here at Labatt Park.
T-shirt toss time and stretch time here at Labatt Memorial Park.
I want a t-shirt, no. I don't know about you. I'm up. I'm trying to call for one in the press box. This is not normal.
I'm going to say this, Dylan. There's a small window of opportunity, and I say that because not only do they have to get it up here, they got to get it through the window.
They do. They do. So a literal window of opportunity.
There you go. You see what I was doing there.
These look like there are some Foxwood Homes Pack the Park shirts. You know what? We have a fan in front of us who's sitting down, so there's a tiny little space. Looks like lots of fans are going to be going home with some more souvenirs. Boy, oh boy, how many t-shirts do they have?
I don't know. They've
come prepared.
They did come prepared.
It's a beautiful afternoon for baseball, and the crowd has come out with lots of passion and excitement.
Majors will have 3, 4, and 5 to lead off the bottom of inning number 7. The hole has grown a little bit here at 5-0. Trying to avoid dropping their 5th straight ball game. Hasn't at least yet dampened the moods here at Labatt Park on this Sunday afternoon.
Everybody's still into it, particularly after the t-shirt toss, but Frank Garces on the mound has been stifling the Majors' bats. The good news is it's a good part of the order to get something rolling for London, but they've got to do something soon as they trail by 5.
Well, and you got to look as well, Dylan, at the, I'll call it progress throughout the course of the ball game. Majors haven't started well. There's a lot of strikeouts early on against Frank Garces, and now the Majors, as they work through the order now for the 3rd time, they get to see Garces again. And it wasn't until last inning that they got their first 2 hits of the afternoon. So maybe here in the bottom of inning number 7, it's time to see them get on the scoreboard.
Like I mentioned, not a bad place, I should say, to start in the order for that. 3, 4, 5, you got Joseph, Brownlee, DeOlio. We'll see if the Majors can get some runs on the scoreboard here.
So Garces ready here to begin the bottom half of inning number 7. Joseph on the ground, shortstop, funny hop up high, Burns across the diamond, out of the dirt, Jaco with the pick, and there's one gone.
Yeah, Starling Joseph just rolled over on that baseball, hit it to shortstop. Carson Burns made a nice play, good throw over to first base for the first out. Joseph was caught reaching there, leaned down for that baseball, and just hit it right into the ground.
And that'll bring up Cleveland Brownlee here.
First baseman, number 35, Cleveland Brownlee.
Majors first baseman in this afternoon's ball game. You can tell looking down at Cleveland that he's had some fun getting back out into the field defensively this afternoon.
Absolutely he has.
And he'll rip one off the glove of Burns and into left field. Brownlee with the Majors' 3rd hit of the afternoon with one gone.
Cleveland Brownlee smoked that baseball. He hit one really hard to Carson Burns earlier in the ball game on the ground that Burns was able to pick and get to first in time to retire Brownlee. That one, he almost hit it right at Burns again. This time, a little bit of elevation on that swing, and that allowed Cleveland Brownlee to get one into left field for a base hit.
DeOlio comes to plate now for London here. Brownlee stands aboard. In the air, center field. In a couple of steps, and the catch is made. DeOlio retired quickly here. There's 2 gone.
Fans looking for something to cheer about. They got into that fly ball, but unfortunately for them, easily grabbed by Canicio. And there's 2 gone in the bottom of the 7th.
And I think we'll see a pinch hitter come to the plate here.
So in place of Dan Battelle, it will be Kane McGee off the bench for the London Majors, trying to get something going against Frank Garces. 3 hits for the ball club, 1 for Cleveland Brownlee. And the 2 previous came in the bottom of the 6th inning, courtesy of Keith Candell and Tommy Reyes Cruz. So everybody else being 0 for, Roop Chanadat trying to get a spark and sends McGee up to the plate.
So McGee announced into the ball game here, and he'll look to try and extend the inning here for the Majors in the bottom half of inning number 7. It's a lefty off the bench, but Garces, the lefty on the hill, looking to close out the inning. McGee, third base, picked up on a hop, over to 1 in time. 1 pitch, and McGee is retired. Garces is through 7 here. The Baycats in control here at Labatt Park. It is a 5-0 Barrie lead. Through 7 complete here at Labatt Park.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of Majors TV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball. London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
Back here at Labatt Park, one of the T-shirts on display that was thrown out. Of course, Back the Park, sponsored by Foxwood Homes. A big thank you to them, allowing all these fans to enjoy a ball game. We thank Cucina Italian Kitchen once again for their delicious food. And Abdiel Velasquez has taken over on the hill for the London Majors as Pedro de los Santos' afternoon is over. Not a bad outing for Pedro. Soured a little bit by the home run in the last inning from Ryan Rio, but overall, pretty good outing for Pedro.
Yeah, not terrible. You look at it in terms of the Majors trailing by 5 runs, but you also got to take in the other fact of the equation is that the Majors haven't got anything going offensively. If the Majors even put up 2 or 3 runs over the course of the first 7 innings, that start looks a whole lot better for Pedro de los Santos. It's the Intercounty Baseball League. You're going to see some runs from time to time, and the Majors have not been able to put up their side of things here so far this afternoon.
First pitch from Abdiel Velasquez is a called strike to Adam Odd. Kane McGee out of the ball game. Brett Graham into the ball game at third base. The 0-1, that's going to miss up and away. Abdiel Velasquez, native of Colon, Panama, standing 6'4", 260 pounds. 1-1 on the season, 5 games, 2 starts, 645 earned run average, and 15 1/3 innings pitched. 16 strikeouts, and the issue is the 18 walks that he's had so far this season. Good breaking ball in there, drops in, and it's 1-2.
When he shows his good stuff and when he looks on, Dylan, he's got some fantastic pitches, some good options to go to. He's just got to keep that control.
Had his first scoreless outing of the season on Friday night. 2 innings of relief as that one's popped high into foul territory. Brett Graham, freshly into the ball game, makes the grab, and that's what baseball's all about. As soon as you come in, the ball will find you. And right there, Graham comes down with that baseball.
Don't you just love how that works? It's always how it works. Find the newest guy into the ball game. And I'm surprised that one didn't get popped up to the mound for Velasquez. That's usually how it works.
Well, Velasquez took 4 pitches to retire Adam Odd, and now Josh Cote steps into the batter's box. Josh Cote is having a day at the plate. 3 for 3 so far. First pitch from Velasquez. Outside corner, 0-1.
It's a great location there. From Velasquez, outer portion of the plate, a little bit of movement. Tough one to hit.
No balls, 1 strike, 1 away. The pitch from Velasquez, breaking ball. That one catches the outside corner as well, and it's 0-2.
And Dylan, I think we're seeing a little bit of a different pace here as well from Velasquez. It's almost like he's come to the ballpark ready to work. A little bit quicker to the plate. A little tighter movement on the off speed.
0-2 home in the air on the infield. Keith Candell shading his eyes, makes the grab. 2 gone here in the top of the 8th inning.
2 batters, 2 pop-ups for Velasquez, and that's a great way to start his outing here this afternoon.
He's pounding the strike zone right now, Noah. 7 pitches so far in the ball game, 6 of them strikes. When he's around the strike zone, he's so effective.
So 2 gone here. Now Velasquez looking to get the majors back to the bats here in inning number 8. It was kind of his first wild one of the afternoon right there.
Yeah, that one well off the plate outside.
Doesn't like the baseball that he was given.
Perhaps slipped out of his hand there.
He dirties that one up, drops it right into the dirt as soon as he gets it. Dylan, you pitched a little bit, still do. Did you?
Boy, I'm terrible on the mound.
Well, I was going to say, even as a catcher, do you prefer a fresh baseball?
I do. I've always been a fresh baseball kind of guy, as that one is fouled off at the plate. I think, you get a fresh ball in there, I feel you can grip it better. I don't like when there's...
See, I hate it.
Really?
I hate
really?
It. Yeah,
you got to dirty it up?
I've been over the course of my career reliever, starter, and I don't like the fresh baseball.
Really?
I find it too slippery. Even if they, scrub it a little bit, put it in the mud, put it in the dirt, it never feels good to me until I get roughed around a little bit and the ball has been hit over the infield.
That one popped up. Foul territory. Another chance for Brett Graham. He makes the grab, and the side is retired. So the Baycats go 1-2-3 in the top of the 8th inning. 3 pop-ups, but they still lead the ball game by a score of 5-0.
5-0 for the Baycats here. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Majors running out of outs to work with here this afternoon as they trailed this ball game by a score of 5-0. One final so far this afternoon around the Intercounty Baseball League. Welland on home turf continues their hot start to the season. A 5-3 win over the Guelph Royals in Toronto. Maple Leafs have a 10-2 lead over the Brantford Red Sox, and Hamilton has battled back to tie the game once more against the Kitchener Panthers. That's a 5-5 tie in the top of the 7th inning.
Noah, that's 11 wins in a row for the Welland Jackfish. That's crazy. They started the year 0-2.
Started the year 0-2. You were wondering what was going to be of the Jackfish this year, and 11 straight wins.
New arm into the ball game for the Barrie Baycats here as the 8th inning gets underway. That is Evan Souls into the contest, the young right-handed arm for Barrie, taking over for Frank Garces, who had a terrific outing.
Yeah, he sure did, Dylan. You can look at the numbers, but Frank Garces, all you have to say about his start is immaculate. He was fantastic, did not give up a hit until the 6th inning, and when he did, was only able to allow the Majors 3 hits in this afternoon's start, and he just looked good. He looked confident. His stuff was working, and you could just tell by the Majors swings they could not solve Frank Garces.
Evan Souls on in relief to try to set things up for the 9th inning. Some more action in the Baycats bullpen. Souls this season, 6 outings, 1 of them a start. Pretty good numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 start for him, but 6 games over 22 innings pitched. And 25 strikeouts to 6 walks. Evan Souls has been what I would say is the guy for Barrie out of the bullpen. Reliable, and you can go to him and you know what you're going to get.
Josh Matlow has certainly used him a fair amount. 9 games in his first IBL season in 2021. Then that got bumped up to 19 last year. Didn't pitch in the playoffs for the Barrie Baycats, likely due to school reasons. And then 6 games so far this season for the Baycats righty out of the bullpen. For the Majors, it will be 7, 8, and 9 as they try to push some runs across. Drew Lawrence, Brad Verhoeven, Keith Candell. And in Texas, bad news for the Blue Jays. It's 6-6. Chris Bassett got roughed around. First pitch is in there for a strike to Drew Lawrence.
Well, it's 6-0 Blue Jays. I'm just not going to look at the score anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably a better idea.
A good idea.
1 ball, 1 strike from Evan Souls. To Drew Lawrence, breaking ball. That drops in there, and it's 1-2.
Bottom of the Majors order here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Time for these guys to find some way on.
Lawrence fights that one off, able to stay alive on 1-2, and we'll do it again. No, you know what? We don't get to see these Baycats white jerseys in action often because they're the home jerseys. I'm a big fan as Drew Lawrence sends that one foul. These are some really nice threads that the Baycats have got.
It's a clean look, obviously normally with the white pants.
I like the Dodgers style with the numbers.
Yeah, I wonder, and I'm just throwing this out there. Do you think the Barrie Baycats consider this again after seeing them today?
That one up and away. You're talking about, or pardon me, up and in, I should say, on Drew Lawrence. You're talking about the white and blue?
I'm just wondering.
Okay.
I'm just wondering. Okay. I don't know if I love it on the road, but I wouldn't hate this at home.
Maybe not. There are some fans in the chat earlier who were saying they really enjoy the look for the Barrie Baycats, so we'll see if maybe they go back to it. I think it looks good. Here's the 2-2 home to Drew Lawrence. Able to get a piece of that one as well. Great at-bat by Drew right now.
Drew trying to find his way, battle anyway on here. The Majors, obviously, we talked about how the hits haven't been there. They haven't even had base runners to work with this afternoon. Save and accept a little bit of excitement in the bottom half of the 7th.
3 balls, 2 strikes, full count to Drew Lawrence. Pitch on its way, breaking ball up and in. Brushes Drew Lawrence off the plate once again, and that'll be ball 4 from Evan Souls.
That's a good way to start the inning here for the Majors. You got to just claw away at this deficit. And I talk about how you're running out of outs. You're down to your final 6 here this afternoon. But if you can claw away even a little bit here in the bottom of the 8th, get 2 or 3 runs across, and things aren't so daunting as you move forward.
First pitch from Souls to Brad Verhoeven is fouled straight back at the screen. Verhoeven rocking number 51 for the Majors today. At times, the numbers for those call-up players they rotate a little bit. Lawrence takes his lead off of first. Definitely a threat to run. That comes in, and it clips Brad Verhoeven on the elbow. So Evan Souls issues a free pass to Drew Lawrence after a great at-bat and then hits Brad Verhoeven. And 11 pitches later, the London Majors have 2 runners on with nobody out for Keith Candell.
Dylan, in our pregame show this afternoon, we talked about the Friday night contest for the London Majors. A couple of innings where they had bases loaded, didn't really do any damage. Able to get a run across, but when you get the bases loaded, nobody out, you want more than that. You expect more than that. This is shaping up to be one of those innings here for the Majors. You finally get rid of Frank Garces on the mound. You get into the Barrie Baycats bullpen. First 2 guys reach base. Keith Candell's already ripped a double a day, and then you've got the top of the order after him. This is the inning where the Majors have to get it done. If you're going to win this ball game, even if you're going to have a good showing here on this Sunday afternoon, this is the inning you got to get it done.
There is action in the Baycats bullpen, but Keith Candell had one of the harder hit balls of the afternoon against Garces. He's in the batter's box now, 2 runners on. Speed over at second and Lawrence. Pitch from Souls, squaring around a bunt is Candell. Strike 1.
Interesting move there to square around a bunt. For the Baycats, I play in on this. I take the out. I don't mind if those runners move up. Take the outs as they come. Start counting them down.
0-1 pitch on its way. Candell skies it. Foul territory. Back to the screen. Cote giving it a look. And that ball is foul as it rolls right over top of us.
Foul and out of play. Some action down in the Barrie bullpen. If our lineup card is correct, that's Brendan Hillier.
Would make sense. Typically a late inning reliever for them. Likely on to close it out. Breaking ball. That's up and in. 1-2. Candell continues to battle in the batter's box. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lawrence bouncing off a second. Pitch from Souls. That's high. Here's a throw to second base. Lawrence back with a dive. He's safe.
Always keeping an eye on Lawrence out there. He's a good base runner, but he's also an aggressive base runner. You got to watch those secondaries on him. The Baycats doing a good job. Candell in a 2-2 count now.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Lawrence stands at second. Verhoeven at first. A peek back from Souls. The offering on its way. Breaking ball. Candell rips that one. Left field. It's going to get down. Getting the wave around third is Drew Lawrence. Here's the throw to the plate. It gets cut off, and the Majors break through on the scoreboard. It's 5-1.
Keith Candell has 2 of the Majors' 4 hits this afternoon. That's the biggest one to get them on the scoreboard. And are we seeing a pitching change right away?
Well, it looks like it is Josh Matlow. It's not pitching coach Brad Grieveson. And Josh Matlow might be giving his young righty the hook right here. I didn't see if he signaled down to the bullpen. Brandon Hillier looks ready and on his way into the ball game. So 3 batters is all that Evan Souls will face as the Majors turn it over to the top of the order. Josh Matlow and the Baycats turn it over to Brandon Hillier when we come back.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope. Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app for only $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
You're watching.
Here's the pitch. Joseph drills it to right center field. That ball's going back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Starling Joseph, a 2-run home run.
London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
Welcome back to Labatt Park. Some guys in conversation there on the infield. The entire Baycats infield chatting it up with Keith Candell, Brad Verhoeven. Keith, a guy who's been around the league, right, Noah? He knows a lot of faces in the IBL, and just chatting things up with former teammate Hayden Jaco and some more Baycats.
I was going to say, Dylan, this is a fun time to play that game. What are they talking about? Any guesses?
Not a clue.
No clue. Not the nice weather we've had today. The pack the park day. Now they're looking. Are they looking at pants? Blue pants. Is that what they're talking about? The blue pants.
Keith Candell shaking Jaco's pants. They're flipped, right? We talked about it off the top. Dark blue jerseys for the Majors, white pants, white jerseys for the Baycats, blue pants. That's the topic of conversation.
We figured it out. I was going to say.
How did we not have that off the jump?
Normally, you don't actually win that game, but we won the game.
We did.
We figured out what they were talking about. As that group splits, Verhoeven will go back to 2, Candell back to 1, and Brendan Hillier will come onto the hill in relief of Evan Souls for the Barrie Baycats. The Orangeville, Ontario native has appeared in 7 games so far this summer for the Baycats. 6 1/3 innings pitched, and the ERA a little bit high at 4.26, but he'll be tasked with getting through the Majors here at least in this bottom of the 8th inning, and we'll see what happens after that, but there is more action down in the Barrie Baycats bullpen.
Hillier, 2 saves on the season. Action in the bullpen right now for Barrie. Looks like Chris Cox, I believe, getting loose out there for the Baycats. First pitch to Reyes Cruz is off the plate for ball 1.
And now the Majors get to work here with the top of the order.
Nobody out here in the inning. Reyes Cruz takes that one high. 2 balls, no strikes to the Majors' second baseman.
Top of the Majors' order is back-to-back lefties here, so the move to keep another righty into the game, not a strategical thing. Josh Matlow just did not like what he saw through the first 3 batters from Evan Souls.
That one inside, 3 balls, no strikes. Three balls, no strikes. Ball 4 chance here at Labatt Park, raining down. The offering on its way. Reyes Cruz taking all the way. That is in there for strike 1.
No thought at even swinging at that one. He was looking on that 3-0. On deck is Byron Reichstein.
Taking a peek back at second. Hillier pitch on its way. Reyes Cruz takes strike 2 on the outside corner. He thought it might have been ball 4. Crowd not happy with that call.
Yeah, the crowd not happy with it, but the location, not a bad spot there. That's a good 3-1 pitch. Now the count moves to full.
3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Pitch from Hillier inside, gets the backstop. Verhoeven charging hard for third base. He'll round it and stay there. A walk for Brandon Hillier, fresh into the ball game. And Tommy Reyes Cruz reaches first base, loading the bases with nobody out for Byron Reichstein. Representing the tying run is Byron. We talked about how last night the Majors had 2 chances in a row with the bases loaded, nobody out. Could not capitalize. Byron 0 for 3 today. Boy, oh boy, would he ever like to get into the hit column here.
Yeah, and Byron Reichstein is not having the best weekend of his career. Strikeout after strikeout. But you can forget all that right here if he can find his way into the hit column.
Representing the tying run. Here's the pitch. That one off the plate outside for ball 1.
And you can oftentimes get overwhelmed or overthink in a situation like this. Your job isn't to crush one into the gap here. It's to keep the line moving.
The 1-0 on its way. That one in there for a called strike. 1-1.
Just on the outside edge. Reichstein taking that one, and the count evens.
Hillier sets on the mound. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Pitch on its way. Inside and low to Reichstein. 2-1.
For Reichstein here, Dylan, Hillier's been a little bit all over the place, right? He's been inside. He's been outside. He's found the zone a few times. But for Reichstein, especially on 2-1 here, you're looking for one pitch. You're looking for that pitch in your spot. If it's not there, you've still got another one to work with.
2 balls, 1 strike to Byron Reichstein. Bases loaded, nobody out. Pitch on its way from Hillier. Reichstein in the air. Right field, moving back on it, Rodriguez. He'll park himself under it. Tagging from third is Verhoeven. And he got a bad first step, so he stays at third base.
Verhoeven can't believe himself. He is upset. Reichstein staring down there as well.
Man, oh man, you've got to get that run home on that fly ball. The Baycats get away with one there. And now the tying run steps back up to the plate, and Starling Joseph. I think Verhoeven broke early on that play, and that's why he stopped himself and went back.
That ball was hit high in the air. It had a lot of hang time. And you don't want to start making excuses there, but sometimes that can be tough to time up. Rodriguez, coupled with him having a good arm, But I just think at that distance, right, that's a run that's got to score.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Double play is in order. Starling Joseph at the plate. Here's the pitch from Brandon Hillier. Joseph rips that one down the left field line. It's a fair ball. 1 run comes in to score. It's for Hoven. Candell right behind him. It's bobbled in left field by McGarry Doyle. Here comes Reyes Cruz. The throw to the plate is dropped. It's dropped. Reyes Cruz scores. A bases clearing double for Starling Joseph. And it's a 1-run ball game at Labatt Park.
That's the hit you were looking for all weekend, all afternoon. And Starling Joseph delivers it down the left field line. And when we say inches, it's less than that. That ball landed on the line.
It did. And that's going to do it for Brandon Hillier. Josh Matlow has brought in 2 arms in this 8th inning. They've recorded a combined 1 out. Cleveland Brownlee has a runner in scoring position, and he'll face a new arm when we come back.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch the ball.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're watching London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
Welcome back to Labatt Park. Brad Grieveson on into the ball game for the Barrie Baycats. He's the Baycats pitching coach, and he's also the arm that Josh Matlow goes to in some big situations. Grieveson this season, the Creemore, Ontario native, 5 games for the Barrie Baycats, 8 1/3 innings.
Yeah, you talk about how he's a guy that Matlow likes to go to. Consistency is something that comes to mind with Brad Grieveson, and he'll be called upon here in a big spot. The tying run now stands 90 feet away. Starling Joseph.
180 feet away over at second base is Starling Joseph. Now, Noah, I mentioned it on Friday night, Cleveland Brownlee sitting on 499 career IBL RBI. Starling Joseph stands at second base as the tying run. This would be a huge spot to get number 500.
It is, and you get 2 veteran IBL guys battling it out here as Brownlee gets ready to come to the plate.
The infield has cleared up, and Cleveland gets called upon in a big spot.
Pack the Park day here in London. By the looks of it, some fans maybe started to make their way to the exits heading into late portions of the ball game. I don't know if they're going to let him back in, Dylan, but the roof went off this place when Starling Joseph lined that one into the left field corner. And now Brownlee stands at the plate here with a tying run at second. Looking to try to make it happen again.
Starling Joseph, the tying run. Pitch from Grieveson up high. That one's going to get to the backstop, and Joseph will reach third base. The Baycats.
Oh, hold on, Dylan. They're going to, right away, Bob Stevenson, the home plate umpire, was unsure of that. He did not make a call. He did not call that foul. He let that go. I think they're going to have a conversation here on whether that was Bat or Brownlee.
Well, I don't know if it got anything. I think the Baycats are saying it did, but the best view of that is from the second base umpire, because he's got the straight shot. If Rob Stevenson doesn't see it, the home plate umpire, then the second best view of that is from the man standing over at second base, and that is John Thompson, the first base umpire.
It did hit him.
It hit Brownlee, so they'll award him first base. Joseph has to return to second, and now there's 2 on with 1 out.
Right away, Cleveland Brownlee turned and made a little bit of a look towards the home plate umpire. I'm not saying it didn't drill him, that's for sure, but Brownlee certainly made the look like he got hit.
Eduardo DeOlio steps into the batter's box for the Majors there. You'd almost rather have that miss him, maybe? Get Joseph to third base? I don't know. It's a tough call.
It is a tough call because in that spot, Joseph moves up to third. You got Brownlee, DeOlio to try and bring him in. Now, not to be the negative Nelly here, but the double play's in order.
Here's the pitch to Eduardo DeOlio, popped up on the infield. Baycats converging. It's going to drop in. Joseph charging for third. He is in there safely. And he will stand at third base. Infield fly was called. Joseph charging for home. They're going to miss him with the tag. He scores a run. No, he's being sent back. Roop Chanderdat can't believe it. Starling Joseph is frustrated.
Well, Roop Chanderdat's upset right now because Rob Stevenson had called time because Josh Matlow is standing out in the middle of the infield as all this is happening.
So you can understand why Stevenson calls time there. But frustration for Majors manager Roop Chanderdat.
And a partial apology on our part as well for getting excited. Obviously an infield fly with runners at first and second, one out there. But with the crowd noise here, you didn't see the call and it forgets to click in your head. That being said, the ball dropped and Starling Joseph gets to third with a safe call. The Majors will have runners at first and third, 2 outs here.
So frustration for the Majors is Joseph unable to score, and that's the correct call. The infield fly is what you call there.
Absolutely.
It didn't look like the home plate umpire called that. It was hard to see. The first base umpire sure did. That was John Thompson, the first base umpire, that called that. So Joseph will stand at third base. Runners on the corners here, 2 away. Brett Graham scheduled to hit for the Majors, and it looks like Cleveland Brownlee is going to be lifted for a pinch runner. That is Austin Wilkie coming into the ball game.
Yeah, Austin Wilkie will come on to replace Cleveland Brownlee here at first base.
Good to see Wilkie back into a ball game after he injured his wrist on a ball that hit him but didn't in the box score, as Wilkie takes over at first base. Joseph stands over at third, 2 away. Roop Chanderdat, Josh Matlow, both satisfied with the explanations. Man, oh man, some excitement, some controversy. And Brett Graham steps up in a huge spot with the tying run 90 feet away at third base.
After everything that went down there, this is one of the times that you point to it where everything was correct. That's how it should be.
First pitch to Brett Graham from Brad Grieveson is cut on and missed for strike 1. And you hit it on the nose there, Noah. That's the correct call on every count.
When there's so much going on the field, it seems like a circus out there. Tough to get those.
Graham on the ground, right back to Grieveson. He will record the out over at first base, and the side is retired. Well, some excitement for the Majors. They get on the scoreboard, and they score 4. They trail by 1 as we head to the top of the 9th on Majors TV.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of Majors TV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball. London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball. on Majors TV.
Back here at Labatt Park as the fans have been reinvigorated tonight, or this afternoon, I should say. Their Majors trail by just a run as we head to the top of the 9th inning.
Just a run is all the difference we have on the scoreboard right now. Heading to the top of the 9th inning, Abdiel Velasquez is back out there to pitch the top of the 9th inning here for the Majors. Had a very good top of the 8th inning that set the Majors up for that big bottom of the 8th.
It sure did. We see some questions here in the chat about that last inning. Just to clear things up once and for all, DeOlio popped that baseball up. Infield fly was called. The ball dropped. Starling Joseph was able to move up to third base. Josh Matlow ran on the field to talk to the umpire, so time was called. Majors didn't see it. Joseph tried to score, could not score because time was called, and so he was stranded over at third base. And the Majors trail by 1 as we head to the top of the 9th. First pitch from Abdiel Velasquez is cut on and missed by Owen Jansen.
Yeah, it's one of those situations, Dylan, where certainly watching it from home without being here in person, and even us when we saw it before our very eyes the first time around, you can see how it was confusing, but everything's sorted out here, and both of us obviously content with what we have heard there about the bottom of the 8th inning.
Driven into left center field, and that's not an easy play, but Drew Lawrence just made it look easy, tracking that baseball down in left center field off of some pretty good contact from Owen Jansen.
Yeah, Drew Lawrence, I mean, you said it right there. Not an easy catch, but it almost looks routine with how much ground Drew Lawrence is able to cover.
So Noel McGarry Doyle steps into the batter's box. He's 2 for 4 today. A strikeout, a single, a line out, and a bunt single for McGarry Doyle. Baycats now leading by a run. Here's the pitch from Abdiel Velasquez just off the outside corner. Chris Cox is still throwing in the Baycats bullpen after Brad Grieveson came in to get out of the 8th.
Yeah, we've seen the Barrie Baycats go to the bullpen. They went 3 times in the bottom of the 8th inning. And do you go Grieveson back out there for the 9th, or do you give Cox a clean slate?
Well, with the career that Brad Grieveson has racked up, I think you leave it up to him. You see what Brad Grieveson feels, and obviously he's the pitching coach for this Baycats squad. The 1-1 on the outside corner, strike 2 with a breaking ball. I think Brad Grieveson understands the importance of this spot and what he's got to do, and if he and Josh Matlow come to the agreement that he stays in, and I think he'll stay in the ball game. But I think a lot of the decision lies in his hands, as well as those of Josh Matlow, evidently. 1 ball, 2 strikes, pitch from Velasquez. McGarry Doyle is able to get a piece of that one and foul it off. Count remains 1-2.
Velasquez looked really good in the top half of the 8th inning. Back out here. First few pitches here at the top of the 9th have looked the same. This now becomes a big spot for him and the Majors pitching staff. All right, your offense has worked you back into this game. I need you to keep it at 5-4.
Here is the 1-2 home. Breaking ball called. Strike 3 from Velasquez. 2 gone now in the top of the 9th inning.
Big strikeout and able to catch the outside corner on the breaking ball. Almost as if it bends around that outside edge of the plate. Just barely catching the black, and there's 2 gone.
Kanice Eo into the batter's box here for his 4th at-bat, 5th plate appearance. A single to right in his first trip to the plate, then a strikeout, ground out, and got hit by a pitch in his last turn at bat. Abdiel Velasquez trying to get the Majors back on the bats where they started a rally in the last inning. First pitch from Velasquez, good breaking ball, doesn't catch the zone. It's 1-0. One ball, no strikes. Time called at the plate by Eo, and Velasquez will have to reset. Been an exciting past 20 minutes or so here at Labatt Park. Pitch from Velasquez, popped high in the air. Graham and Verhoeven after it. Verhoeven, the catcher, to the edge of the backstop, and that one gets out of play. It's a foul ball, and the count moves to a ball and a strike. This is the only real close game currently going on in the IBL. Welland beat Guelph 5-3, and that contest was tight, but Toronto's up 12-2 on Brantford. Hamilton's up 10-5 on Kitchener. Right here, the Barrie Baycats lead the London Majors by just 1 run in the top of the 9th inning with 2 away.
Looking ahead to the bottom half, the Majors will start it with Drew Lawrence, the same batter that started the bottom of the 8th.
Breaking ball, skied in the air. Lawrence broke back, now has to break in, charging hard. Did he get there? No, that ball dropped and Drew Lawrence is down. Looked like he was down out of frustration maybe, slamming his hand on the grass as that one fell in for a base hit.
Yeah, not frustrated because he didn't come up with the diving catch, frustrated because didn't make the right read right off the bat. That one went up into the air, and I think it caught a few guys off guard from the Majors on defense. Real short pop-up just into the outfield grass, but it drops for a hit. 10th hit of the ball game for the Barrie Baycats with 2 out here in the top of the 9th.
So Starlin Rodriguez steps into the batter's box here, 2 away, top of the 9th inning. Rodriguez 1 for 3 on the afternoon. On the move from first is Eo. Here's the throw from Verhoeven. It is not in time. No balls, 1 strike the count. That was a called strike to Rodriguez. Time called as Eo was getting set out there at second base.
Baycats aggressive out there on the base pass. They know how big a insurance run could be here in the 9th.
No balls, 1 strike, 2 away. Eo bouncing from second base. That ball ripped by Rodriguez, but foul into the Majors bullpen. Dan Battelle hearing it from Braden Farrington there, as Battelle has gone to become the bullpen catcher in this game, and he couldn't come up with that as it was hit into foul territory.
0-2 count here for Velasquez. We'll see where he goes.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 away to the number 3 hitter, Starlin Rodriguez. A big bat in this Baycats order. The pitch home. Breaking ball, that one fouled off as well. This one towards the Majors dugout. Tyson Jelf's had to get out of the way. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 away in the top of the 9th inning. Runner standing over at second base is Canicio. The 0-2 home, that is high with a fastball. And it's 1-2. Starlin Rodriguez staring into the crowd after someone yelled swing on that pitch.
Yeah, he wasn't a fan of that, was he?
Not particularly. Count moves to 1-2. 2 gone in the top of the 9th. Velasquez trying to get out of it and send the Majors back onto the sticks. Peeks back at second base. And Velasquez spin move will look Eo back.
Just changing things up out there. Looks back Eo. See if he varies his timing a little bit here. Still up in the count here, even after that high fastball miss.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. The pitch from Velasquez on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Verhoeven will apply the tag, and the side is retired in the top of the 9th inning. Velasquez allows the 1 base runner, but nothing more. We're through to the bottom of the 9th, and the Majors trail 5-4.
As mentioned, it'll be Drew Lawrence to lead things off here for London in the bottom of the 9th inning. Walk to begin the bottom of the 8th. Came around to score the first run of the ball game for the Majors.
We asked the question in the top of the 9th inning, Noah, who would get the ball in the bottom half for the Barrie Baycats, and it is Brad Grieveson staying on to throw the bottom of the 9th inning here at Labatt Park.
Yeah, I know there's a little question mark up here in our broadcast booth, but down there in the Barrie Baycats dugout, it was probably, like you said, one simple question. You good to go? It's yours.
Big cheer here at Labatt Park for all the dads in attendance. Public address announcer Eric Collins trying to get the crowd fired up for this bottom of the 9th inning with their team trailing by just a run. We were in a similar situation 2 nights ago, Noah, when the Majors trailed by 2 going into the bottom of the 9th. They had 2 runners on, nobody out, could not push any across. They'll look to avoid that same fate here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Fans have been treated to a good one so far this afternoon. It's really turned around for the Majors in the late going. But those who have stayed are ready. Baycats, a little bit of a miscommunication there.
Ball got tossed around. A couple of balls got tossed around.
Well, that was Cote's throw that's actually sitting out in center. There was nobody anywhere close to second base for the throw down. They were still taking ground balls.
I saw Cote throw the arms up trying to say, okay, this is go time here, and nobody moved. So I was like, okay, maybe I misread that. Didn't have the right situation, but clearly I was right, and the Baycats just weren't on it. In the bottom of the 9th here as Drew Lawrence steps into the batter's box to lead things off. He's 0 for 2. 2 ground outs, 1 of the bunt variety, and then a walk in his last plate appearance. Drew just needs to get on base and try to be the catalyst for the Majors here.
Yeah, that's what he did in the bottom of the 8th inning. That's what he's going to have to do here in the bottom of the 9th.
Pitch from Brad Grieveson. Lawrence fouls that one off. Strike 1.
Difference here is that you saw Ivan Souls to begin the bottom of the 8th inning, who just right away didn't look like he had it. Wasn't his normal self on the mound. Brad Grieveson was already able to get out of the jam in the bottom of the 8th. He's going to be ready to pound the zone.
0-1. That's fouled off by Lawrence as well. So quickly, he's behind in the count, 0-2. Grieveson looks in for the sign from Cote into the windup. Here's the pitch. That one up and inside on Lawrence. 1-2. Grieveson working quickly. 1-2 on its way. Breaking ball called. Strike 3. Lawrence goes down looking at that pitch, and there's one gone here in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, good start to the inning for Grieveson, trying to shut the door here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Goes to the breaking ball there on 2 strikes and gets Drew Lawrence looking.
Brad Verhoeven steps into the batter's box for London. Lawrence not happy with that call from the home plate umpire. The pitch to Grieveson, is going to miss high to Verhoeven, 1-0.
Verhoeven got on via hit by pitch in the bottom of the 8th inning. Prior to that, there was a couple of hits that he had that just got caught, diving catches.
Pop fly on the infield. Carson Burns comes down with that one, and the Majors are down to their final out very quickly here in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, it'll be Keith Gandel who will come to the plate here, representing the Majors' last chance here. He probably came within 8 feet of sending one out of here earlier on in the ball game. Double that banged off the base of the wall.
Gandel looking to get aboard, keep the line moving for the Majors. Pitch from Grieveson. Inside, hits him.
Well, that's all you need.
So the tying run gets aboard. It's Keith Gandel talking to Brad Grieveson as he heads out towards first base. Grieveson saying his spikes got caught, I think.
He's looking for something to try and get some of the dirt out of his spikes. Gandel with some words for Grieveson. Don't know. There's like a smile on his face, so it looks like everything's okay. There's a good look at it.
Did the shoe
Is he saying
fall out?
that the bottom of his shoe? I've had this happen before, so I'm not going to rule it out of the question. We get a great look at it there.
519 Jersey Auction mobile camera helping us out. That's probably why they were laughing about it, because I think the bottom of his shoe just fell off.
Dylan, one time I was pitching in bantam ball, and I actually lost the entire bottom of my shoe on a double.
On a double?
And no one, listen, nobody else has spare cleats back then.
Yeah.
Also, Brad Grieveson is going to pitch the remainder of this ball game. with the white tape wrapped around that left cleat.
Tommy Reyes-Cruz steps into the batter's box. He's got the tying run standing at first base in the form of Keith Candell. Candell takes his lead off at first. Here's the pitch in there. Strike one to Reyes-Cruz. Grieveson comes set. Candell is lead off at first. Here's the pitch. Big swing from the Majors left-handed hitting second baseman. But now it's 0-2.
Yeah, up 0-2 here. Tough spot. Gotta protect.
No balls, 2 strikes. Majors down to their final strike in the ball game. Here's the pitch from Grieveson. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Tommy Reyes-Cruz down on strikes. The Majors get the tying run to the plate several times. They get the tying run on base numerous times as well, but unable to come back in this ball game, and they fall by a score of 5-4 here on this Father's Day.
Yeah, the Majors' valiant effort, albeit late here in this ball game, was not enough to overcome the quick start by the Barrie Baycats and the 5 runs that they were able to put up here this afternoon on Pack the Park Day.
Well, the Majors unable to come back in this contest, just like they were unable to do so on Friday. That is 5 consecutive losses for this ball club for the first time in a very long time. They'll be back in action next week trying to get into the win column. No game here at Labatt Park next weekend. They'll be back at home on June 30th against the Welland Jackfish. Thank you all very much for tuning in. For Director Jeremy McGrady, Noah Smith, my color commentator and producer to my left, my name is Dylan Baker. We'll talk to you again very soon.